I'm like sad so often, so like why not let my not so sad thoughts make funny ha-has, you know? Or so like it's great. It's great, and I like to take the suggestions of people, and if I can make them real, I will. But I really enjoy giving the funny ha-has and doing just if we're laughing together, we're laughing together, and the world's not bad, and you know, and I don't know. That sounds cheesy, but the world's not bad, and we can just relax for a minute.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Sweet Talking Podcast with your host, Nephertii. That's me. Hello. And as always, you know, we are here to have meaningful conversations with very fascinating, interesting people that we know from VRChat, or that I know from VRChat. And this is just another fantastic episode of a fantastic and interesting human being who I have had the pleasure of, you know, meeting kind of through hearsay. BB and I haven't really had a chance to really like sit down and have a conversation. So this is like our opportunity to get to know each other. Sometimes I know my guests, sometimes I don't really know them very well. And I think it makes for a better conversation when I don't really know them very well. So yeah, sit tight, and I hope you all enjoy tonight's episode. And of course, if you are interested in seeing other episodes or past episodes, please be sure to check out the YouTube. It has all the episodes. There's a full playlist of all previous episodes. And I have a Twitter as well that you all can check out if you want to keep up with updates and upcoming guests. So with that out the way, I'd like to introduce you all to tonight's guest, who is a Twitch streamer and content creator who specializes mainly in VRChat, but I'm sure they do other things too. This is BeautyBanger, otherwise known as BB, yeah, among their friends. So it's great to have you on the podcast, BB. I really appreciate you joining me tonight. I'm really looking forward to our conversation.
Thank you for responding. I know that I like screamed at you and I was like, I want to be here. And then now I'm here and I'm like, ah.
Yeah, I mean,
thank you.
Yeah, like the funny thing is, like when you did that, like I was lagging. Like we did that in Saturday. Was that a Saturday? And I was lagging the fuck out. I was like so like I was out of it. And then you came up to me. I didn't realize it was you because I didn't recognize your name, because I'd known you as BeautyBanger. Right. And then Top Booty Banger came up to me and was like, yeah, I want to be on the podcast. And I'm like, who are you? I'm not sure. Are you the same person? I don't know. But yeah, that's how it all happened. And thankfully, like I was like, for what it's worth, like you may have came up to me and been like, I want to be on the podcast. But like once I figured out that it was you, I felt so horrible. I felt like so bad, because like I thought that I had ruined my chance to talk to you. I thought that ruined my chance to talk to you. Because like no. I was so standoffish when I talked to you at Saturday. I was so standoffish. No. But yeah, I appreciate you being so willing to come on and join me. I really I really have wanted to talk to you and get to know you. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. No, thank you. And honestly, it's not your fault with the confusion. My name on Twitch was like two different things, several different things actually. A couple people like reported the name multiple times because it used to be Best Booty Banger, and I've had to go to different iterations of that, and I eventually settled on BeautyBanger. Like, it's mainly because Beauty is like my actual middle name, and I was like, okay, whatever, we'll just settle. But it's the closest I can get it to this, because Top Booty Banger was no longer available. So like it's okay. I totally understand, and I'm just really grateful to be here. It's very kind of you to allow me to present myself in a different light to people. Yes. And to probe me. Like, not too many people ask me probing questions, and that's okay. I feel like a lot of people like to talk about themselves and allow themselves to be discovered, and not so much vice versa. But I very much appreciate you giving me the opportunity to show and speak a little bit about what a lot of people don't know and what they've possibly been thinking in the back of their minds.
Yeah.
Potentially. I don't know. I don't want to sound conceited.
No. You know, that absolutely makes sense. And like that's why I love having these conversations, because I feel like there really is a lot of mystery behind many streamers. Like I think some people don't really know how first of all, how to approach streamers, and two, there's not really an opportunity for them to really get to know, you know, the person. They only know the content creator, they only know the entertainer. But I really like to kind of dig in and really like ask those probing questions and bring some light and paint a clearer picture of the individual behind all of what's going on that people see, you know? So thank you so much. Like that was a great like that's exactly what we do here. So love that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So so how about we start off with just like very, very simple stuff. I don't want to assume anything, but what are your chosen pronouns?
I'm gonna be honest, I accept any. I really don't mind. I do have a very, like, I am biologically a woman, and I have a very feminine figure, but I'm really okay with whatever. I used to be extremely androgynous when I was younger, and so like any pronouns don't bother me at all. Typically I go by she, her, so like, cause you know, whatever, but I really don't mind any. Usually when I'm muted, and of course with this username, no one assumes I'm a woman outright.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I don't mind any.
Yeah.
Your
Your VRChat card does not scream I'm a feminine being. So, it's very funny though.
Yeah.
It's very humorous for sure. But yeah, you're right about that.
Thank you.
All right. Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll go.
Can I ask you about yours?
Oh yeah, she, her, absolutely, 100% she, her. Yeah, no questions asked. That's very much, you know, what I go by. So yeah, all good. I'm just making a slight adjustment. There we go. Okay, I think that'll do. All right, but yeah. So I'm glad we can get that out the way. All good. So I'd love for you to tell the audience about yourself, like who are you? You can go into as much detail as you'd like. Basically, like just kind of give a basic introduction about who you are, what you do, you know, what you enjoy, and just kind of like just paint a picture, with however much detail you want. Totally up to you. But yeah, who is BeautyBanger? Who is BB, essentially?
Well, everyone knows I'm a doofus. I'm okay with being known as that. I'm very heavy on the silly. I will say that, you know, I do primarily focus on like being giggly and just head empty all the time, because I feel like it's a good way to live life. Trying not to worry too much, but you know, still taking heed and taking thought into like the serious things. I am a streamer. I'm about to reach my 1 year anniversary in June. And it's something that I did not plan on doing. I gave it thought, but never really gave it merit. And I started streaming at the advice of my friends. They said, you have too much talent to not be doing it. It's something that would be so easy to you and you would do so well. And I did it, and I'm having a lot of fun doing it. A lot of what ties down to me as far as like what kind of person I am, and what kind of things interest me, I will say aren't necessarily the most expected. I am very much into spooky things, horror games, but I still like to do a lot of like the cutesy wootsy things and cute outfits when I can. And my hobbies, I feel like, kind of reflect my very parallel sides, because I like to do gardening and be outside, longboard and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I like to come home and play video games and like shut my fucking door. So like it's a lot of, you know, here and there, but you know, there's like when it comes to any person, there's surface layers and then there's ones deeper down that, you know, tie into what kind of person, you know, truly is. And I can go on and on forever about those, but I very much look forward to answering all your questions to kind of get down a little bit deeper into what kind of person I am.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That was a great introduction. Yeah, really do. Like, I'm not gonna. I could thank you for every time you answer my questions, but like, I'm, yeah, I don't need to do that. But yeah, that was a great description. So thank you for that. So yeah. So yeah, there seems to be a lot to you, which makes sense. I think there's a lot to everyone, honestly, when it comes to really, getting to know a person. I'm convinced that though people like to keep things on the surface level, there's so much more down below, and that's why I started doing this podcast. I want to get beneath the surface of what most people don't really look into, and I love that sort of thing. I love one-on-ones like this. So I'm really thrilled about tonight. So I'm not going to get into streaming right away, but let's talk about just VRChat as a whole. So how did you get into it? How did you get started with VRChat, and what was that like for you?
I didn't immediately get into VRChat. I was more enthralled about VR because I learned about rhythm games, which are it's one of my favorite genres of video game. I learned about Beat Saber, and then I also learned about Half-Life Alyx. Mm-hmm. So I started playing Beat Saber on the PSVR, and then I learned about Half-Life Alyx, and like everything, I was just like, I need to get an index. I ended up getting a Quest, Oculus CV1, and that was my first VR headset. And I tested out VRChat. Didn't really work too well for me, like the first 2 to 3 times I tried, but that was okay. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until I met my friend Orend that she and I would go to like conventions. I was like very much at the time into going to anime conventions and cosplaying. And then I just kept bumping into my friend Orend, and I said, okay, fuck it. Give me your Snapchat. We're going to be friends. I'm tired of this. And she's very quiet. So she's just like, oh, okay. So I ordered her a pizza. We sat at a convention in the game room, and we just talked for a while.
Nice.
And from there, she was like, we were talking about Beat Saber and stuff like that, because I told her, again, it's something that I like, and I want to do modded Beat Saber. And she's like, oh, I can show you. And she's like, I actually play a lot of VR. And she's like, I play VRChat. When you get home, I can show you. I was like, oh, well, fuck, okay. I'd love to learn. And that was roughly like, oh boy, hold on. What year are we in? 2023? Mm-hmm. That was 2021. Like around June, July. And since then, I've been playing like crazy. I think my hours are in the thousands now. And as you can tell, like I've made a career of it. I play video games for a living type thing. And I'm so grateful for the people I've met here. Like being being into these kinds of games like IMVU and stuff like that. I've never really ventured into them too heavy. So like this is my first like real delve into it. And I can meet anyone from any side of the world at like the drop of a hat and just have an interesting conversation with them. And Orend introduced me to a server of people from all over. Like it started out, which was the crazy thing, it started out with like 13, 15, and it bloomed at like the end of like last year to over 100 of like people who know each other, And now I have some people that I know if I were to call and tell them like, yo, I'm not feeling okay, can you talk to me? I have a handful of those people now. Like I have literally sat there and put in the work and hours into getting to know them, and vice versa. And this game, I owe a lot to this game for that reason. And I've strengthened and lost relationships, and that's okay, because that happens. But it's been nice. It's been really nice. And this little funny toaster on my head is like a kind of portal into like just talking to and just finding and learning, and I don't know. VRChat's really good. It's got its own little issues, but it's really good. I feel like it's healthy in doses. Healthy in doses.
Yeah,
I went on a tangent. I'm sorry.
No, tangents are fine. We're here to learn more about you, so tangents are absolutely fine. So, I think detail is good. I'm a big fan of detail, so please don't hold back. You're doing great. You're doing great.
Oh,
yeah,
thank you.
yeah. So it sounds like VRChat was very much kind of your gateway into having a support group, a support system that you've never really had before. It seems like. And like you met a lot of people, like you basically had like the very kind of, I wouldn't say it's typical experience, but it seems like you got into VRChat, you gave it a try. It was just like, nah, because you didn't like, it was just like, it's a social platform. And if there's no one to really socialize with and there's no one to really connect with, you don't really know what else to do because it's new and fresh. You don't know about the various worlds that are out there and things like that. But then you got into it through a friend, you met a bunch of people, and I think very similarly to a lot of people, you got into VRChat because this is like the people that you met, the relationships that you formed, and just being able to have those experiences and just build on those seems to have be the reason why you decided to stick around. You decided to stick with it, eh?
Yeah, exactly that. I will say that I was extremely, I'm not going to say extremely, I'm going to say extremely social. Outside of VRChat, I'm a pretty sociable person. I will make plans, I will go out by myself and make plans and dates with myself. I felt like literally just, I took all that social, outward, extroverted energy and just kind of funneled it and channeled it into meeting and like strengthening relationships with people online. Because I still have my IRL friends. I still have the ability to go out and meet them if I can. It's just now like some of the closer friends I made are just on the other side of a computer screen. Like,
Yeah.
it is what it is, but I'm really grateful, and there's a lot of things that people have been teaching me on here, because again, life is an evolutionary process. You got to keep learning and growing as you keep going along, and there are some things some concepts I don't think I would have grasped if I've never been on here. Like, I owe a lot of people on here my knowledge of PCs. Like, I didn't know shit or shite about PCs until I got on here, and people were like, okay, if you do this, this does this. If you want to upload an Avi, then do this. If you want to funk around in Unity, do this. And I just knew of these programs. I never really knew of these programs. And now here I am learning because people are willing to teach me. Now I'm learning about my PC, and as much as a hunk of junk as it is, I'm learning about what the fuck it is. I'm learning about what goes on in there, and that's so cool. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. As much as it stresses me out, I'm happy.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, like life certainly is a series. It's a series of events, a series of experiences that we all kind of go through, and they are what shape us. These experiences, these interactions that we have, truly do, make all the difference, and they allow us to learn and grow and improve us as individuals. So I think it's great that you're so sociable, and the funny thing is, like, it makes sense, but yet it's pretty common for people to be on VRChat who are like not sociable at all. Like they have like social anxiety, they struggle to make plans, they don't have many IRL friends, and like VRChat is like their escape. But for you, it's a mixture of the two. Like you have your life outside of VRChat, your life inside of VRChat, the people that you know on and off the computer, and it's definitely I think it's a unique approach. I think not many people are as sociable as, or has had as many social experiences that you have, like, because you are actively a social individual, which is fresh and new to see for sure.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So So, you said that there are like a couple of things that like aren't so great about VRChat. But how about we start with the things that you actually do like about VRChat? It could be like one or two things that you like, and one or two things that you dislike about VRChat.
Exploration. There's like worlds fucking everything in here. I can go to a meme world and laugh my ass off at how stupid it is, or I can go. There's like, there's a literal world in here that's like a library, and you can genuinely read.
Oh,
Like genuinely read things, which is
wow.
crazy.
Yeah, I never knew that.
There's like, yeah, there's a lot in here, and it's because people just decide to make things and create things, like small as it may be. Like my little humble interests, finding worlds because people are interested in them as well, like that. I get so excited. I found a Nights into Dreams world, or Night's Journey of Dreams world, and
I love
flipped
that
my
game.
mind on stream.
Yeah,
It is
I love that game so
one of my
much.
faves.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm so glad. It's one of my favorite series, and someone ripped several of the game levels and ported them in here, and I lost my shit on stream because they looked pretty, the sound was there, I'm sorry. And of course, like, that aside, like, the people, as always, the people are here. There's the good people, and then there's the not so good people, and just, sifting your way through is, it's definitely an experience.
Indeed, yeah. I think we've all had an experience or two of unsavory individuals. I think you haven't had the true VRChat experience until you've experienced just a random troller or a world crasher, or you haven't really had,
or you've had to block that first person because they've done too much.
Yeah, they were just doing way too much. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Way too much. Oh yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. So you would say like the most one of the thing that you don't really care for is I guess the underbelly of VRChat is would that be your answer, or is there anything else?
That is a pretty good answer. There's other things as well. There's people who which I don't mind, but there are people who treat this like their whole lives, and they forget that, like, once you take the headset on, there's something else on the other side of it, and
right.
That's not necessarily a negative, but it's not always a positive. And you see people who take this whole thing to heart, well, because it is like essentially a second version of themselves.
Yes.
But there are people that take this whole thing to heart, and they go jumping from relationship to relationship, or they jump from friend group to friend group, and don't bother to learn about themselves or others, and they wonder why they're unhappy. And you try to be there for them the best you can, and it just sucks consistently seeing it not pan out the way that they want it to, and all you can do is be there for them and just hope. That and some of the more gnarly things of VRChat, like, very clearly, like the ones that get clowned on and memed on all the time, like the underage dating and all the other crap, and then why are there Quest users in my PC world, or something stuff like that. But yeah, but stuff like that, honestly, oh man, now I'm getting to think about it. That, as well as like the loss of friends and people, I think that hurts the most sometimes. Sometimes things just don't work, and sometimes people just don't choose to stay, and letting them walk and letting them leave sucks, but at least, like, knowing that you put forth the effort, and knowing that if they wanted to come back, their seat is still there.
Yeah. Yeah, like what I've done, what I've talked about a lot with other guests of mine is the concept of VRChat being it's like hyper reality. And what I mean by that is, like, VRChat can, in a lot of ways, you know, seem like, again, a second life to a lot of people. However, this, the way people socialize, the way the rate at which you can meet new people, interact with new people, can be so fast and so rapid. You can meet so many new people in such a short period of time that it's so easy to kind of get disillusioned and not really build on those relationships, because you're so excited to, like, meet someone interesting, and that you add them to your friends list, but then 6 months passed and then you haven't really spoken to them at all. So it's definitely, like, there's definitely that feeling of just life going very, very quickly, and people not really valuing the people that they've connected with in a way that's really meaningful. And again, that's, like, a lot of what I wanted to kind of, like, I wanted to show people through doing these podcasts that there's definitely more to simply just the interactive experience. There's more to the person that you're interacting with. It's not just the surface, but many people on VRChat stay on the surface because they know so many people and they don't want to take the time to really learn and get to know a person. So I try to, you know, kind of push that idea that, like, yeah, this may be a hyper-reality where we can meet people from all over the world at a very high rate, but we should really value those people because they are people. They're not NPCs. Every avatar we come in contact with that's moving in any shape or form is another human being on the other side. And I think a lot of people who get caught up in VRChat forget that. So I like kind of bringing that human side of VRChat into a more kind of, like, I want people to, like, really remember that. And I hope that I'm achieving that through having conversations with you and so many other people. But yeah, I think it's definitely an issue of just that feeling of this, of just having, like, relationship after relationship after relationship and just being unhappy in the end of it, and people not really learning how to handle loss. And I think sure, people, like, deal with loss and they can learn from it, but there are a lot of people who don't. They just they keep doing the same thing over and over again, and they think there'll be something new, and it's unfortunately never is. So yeah, I totally hear what you mean. There's really I think an underlying issue with this being a social platform, but it's life. You meet new people, and some people stay, some people go, and that is life. It's just at a faster rate in VRChat.
You're very much right. You're definitely, with these kinds of podcasts, bringing, like, a touch of humanity to the virtual stuff, and you're putting not a face, but you're definitely bringing forth, I guess, the personality through the avatar, I guess. If that makes a little bit sense, because you can have, like, personalized avatars to fuck, you know, but somebody rips it, your personality's gone, but
basically,
or personality, but then you're bringing out the true person behind that mask, and you're showing someone, like, this is again, like you said, a reminder. This is the internet. There's people to meet, but don't forget, you're meeting people. Like, treat them as you would yourself, treat them as you would your family. Like, you can't just go walking up to anybody and saying whatever the fuck and then expecting a good, hearty relationship to be made from that.
Yeah, 100%. So you did mention earlier that that you were initially very interested in VR, just on a base level. You thought the technology was good and fun, interesting, and you wanted to, you tried it out and all that. So what do you have any thoughts with regards to what really, like what you would like VR to be, what you would like VR to become? So, like, ideally, like, what would you like to perceive VR to be? What would you imagine VR to be, like, in the future?
Imagine. Everyone's gonna say immersive. Everyone and their fucking mother wants VR to be more immersive.
Yeah, I'm one of those people. Yeah. But I'm sure there's more. Yeah.
As nice. I'm sorry. As nice as it is to make it immersive and make it blend, I worry about that. I get so scared because, again, once it gets too immersive, once the virtual and the actual reality start to blend to the point of like you don't know, or like you're rather being in here because here is where happy is, and it starts to get a little obsessive.
Yes.
That's when I worry. I don't mind, cooler games being built, things that look more realistic, things that you can touch and feel. But like, I want there to be like a stop point. I want there to be like all right, this is like your daily reminder or your 5-minute reminder of like, this isn't reality. Take the shit off, go drink some water, take like a little walk, go in the sun.
Touch some grass.
And I say that because, on God.
Yeah, touch some grass.
My God. I say that because I see how much people depend on this thing now. And you're not always going to have this headset. Like, some people use this headset and this platform as a security blanket. And that's okay, as long as it helps you grow, as long as it helps you become the person you want to be. But then, like, I can't imagine once it becomes more realistic, more authentic, how much more dependent people are going to be on it. How much more immersed people are going to lose themselves and find themselves in it. Like, and again, there's nothing wrong with finding community, finding yourself, and finding place. It's just that not too many people know when to back away and know that this is a good thing, but I've had enough of it for right now. I can come back to it 5, 10, 20 minutes later.
Yeah.
I had to do, I can't say had to. I did a subathon some time ago that ended this year. But at the beginning of the subathon, I spent so much time doing VR and streaming. I didn't know, like, at the beginning, I didn't know what reality was, like, if that makes sense. I would wake up panicked thinking I'm still streaming and immediately check my arm to make sure, like, everything, like, that I didn't fall asleep in VR. And that's a really not okay feeling. It was awful. I lost sleep on it for weeks, and I was so busy being in virtual reality, like making sure that like I could entertain and just be there, that like I was losing myself, I was losing sleep, I wasn't eating, I wasn't doing okay. And again, like I did a 90-day subathon, and the first like 10-20 were hell. I'm not gonna lie. Like consistently leaving my PC on, consistently being in VR, because this is a good majority of the content that I make is VR content, and I didn't even know like how to fully like do some of my other programs and get the interactability that I can now. So again, it was always the toaster on my face. And I'm going off on a tangent, but I'm saying if it were to get a little bit more immersive, and I can wake up and feel this thing and know that my batteries are dying, but once it gets to the point where I'm just slipping a glove on, the glove that lasts for like 2-3 days, and I'm losing myself in a virtual space, and like there's literally just like a set of glasses that like mold to my head or something that go on. Like, imagine where my sanity is gonna be when I have to take them off, when everything has to come off. Like I'm gonna be lost. And I feel like if it can happen to me, it can happen to anyone, it can happen to more. So I welcome the thought. With the safety measures and stuff in place, I welcome the thought. I'm just really nervous for what it might do to people who have a little bit less of control for themselves. A little bit less of the know-how to say I can take a little breakity break,
Yeah.
That's all.
Absolutely. Like I am right there with you on that. It's the funny thing is, I mean, it's not really funny, but the interesting thing is we're already there. We're already getting to that point, because everything that you've described with regards to being addicted or getting immersed, engrossed in VR, we already have that going on with games that we play now, like League of Legends, even Valorant, like people who just spend their lives playing these games. It's a real issue that we're already facing with people dedicating their lives to these things. And of course, it's only going to get more and more, it's going to become even more of an issue when it becomes a more immersive thing when we're in the headset or we have the goggles on, the glasses on, whatever. And again, I completely agree with you. I think people will start to rely on VR so much more than reality, because I think there are many people who would say, I would much rather just be in VRChat all day. If I could be in VRChat all day, I'd be in VRChat all day. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like, if I could actually like quit my job and just do VRChat, I would fucking do it, absolutely. But I do agree there is a limit. There should be a limit to like people's interaction like with these kinds of platforms, because it's going, like, you start to neglect your physical health, you don't take care of yourself, and before you know it, you're in the hospital because you've neglected your body so much, because you've wanted to just be in this world because everyone that you know and care about is here. And you can have those interactions and have those people in your life, but you have to know when to back off, give yourself a break, and remember that, there is reality and you do have a body that you need to take care of. But we're already on the cusp of that. We're already seeing VR glasses that are like, obviously like the shape of glasses. They're not very good. Obviously, they're not very good yet, but we're already getting to that point. So, those are really good points that you brought up, Evie. So, yeah, we do definitely need to have like regulations or like some sort of cutoff point where people can, disengage. And there's one other thing that I wanted to mention regarding that. The funny thing is, China already does this, by the way. I don't know if you know this, but China already regulates how many hours people, kids mainly, can play their games. So literally, kids have to like log on to a certain system. I'm not familiar with the system in question, but I do know that China does have like a national system in place that basically restricts how much time a person can play games. And it's meant to make sure that that their population doesn't get completely engrossed in those games, that they continue learning, that they take care of themselves, they do other things. But I wouldn't want it to be government mandated like it is in China. I think that's way too heavy-handed, for sure. But China's already doing stuff like that. It's kind of already a thing, because addiction is real, and people often prefer the fantasy to the reality in a lot of ways. But
the only issue with that
Go ahead.
is that it becomes a kind of a security blanket.
Yes.
And people forget that while security blankets are nice, they have to come off. They have to. Like, you can suffer from anxiety and depression, and you can take your medicine, you can do what the doctor tells you, you can take healthy steps, but if you're not being consistent with it, if you're not reminding yourself that while I can spend my time in VR where I feel safe and I feel comfortable, and I can spend a good majority of my day in there, and you don't remind yourself, but I still need to come out, I still need to go do things, I have to be productive, I have to go visit the family in the other state, I have to make the calls, go to work, take a walk, take care of my dog, take care of myself. As long as people know that is as much a necessity as it is to breathe, as it is to eat, you have to like take what's making you comfortable away from you in order to continuously grow and be the good kind of person you want to be.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think what people don't realize is that a lot of what they can do in VR, they may feel, like you said, it's a security blanket for many people. And I think people forget how capable they are to take what they've learned, the experiences that they've gained in VR, and apply them to reality. In a lot of ways, again, this is a hyper reality. VRChat is a hyper reality. So a lot of the social aspects that people gain from being in VRChat, they can apply those things to reality as well. And I think people forget that. Like, there may be, obviously, you can just leave. Obviously, there are ways that people can disengage in VRChat that aren't possible in reality. But I think a lot of people forget the growth that they experience by engaging on this platform, and they undersell their ability to be a better version of themselves. So that's why it becomes a security blanket, because they think that they can only socialize with people in VRChat. They only can make friends on this platform because, you know, it's safe and they can leave and disengage. But I think a lot of people forget that that's not always the case. And VRChat is just another version of reality in a lot of ways, albeit virtual. But I'll use myself as an example. When I was younger, I was not very social, or rather, I was more adept at being social on the internet than I was in person. I could talk to people, I could interact with people, and it would be very, very simple to do. However, I found that my ability to interact and engage with people on the internet was just a lot better. It felt a lot more comfortable, obviously. So one would think, I think in most cases these days, people would think, well, I can only talk to people behind a computer where it's safe. And they will never go beyond that because that is all they know. It's safe, it's clear-cut, they know that to be true. And they know that reality is scary. And people are scary. So I'm not going to even try to engage in that way. But a thought occurred to me. This is like in my teens. So like a thought occurred to me. If I can be this social and engaged at this level on the internet through text and such, why can't I apply that to real life? If I'm consciously doing that on the computer, why can't I just be like tap into that in real life and just engage with people just like I would online? But obviously, with personal boundaries in mind and all those things. But I think people undersell themselves. They undercut themselves, and they rely on the internet. They rely on social platforms to get their social interactivity when they can absolutely 100% use those same skills that they've learned and bring them into reality so they can make their life better, so they can be better versions of themselves, so that they can grow and be responsible and be productive and just grow as an individual. I think people really don't quite keep that in mind. I think that's definitely a thing.
You're
that
very much right.
Yeah.
You're very much right.
So that was really, really good. I'm glad that we could talk about that. And like you brought up really, really, really great points, and I love having discussions like this about like virtual versus reality. Virtual versus reality. I love having discussions like that. So I think it's pretty clear. I think you've already answered my other question. If you could live in virtual reality, you probably wouldn't, from what I can tell.
Unless there was like certain rule sets in place, probably not. I really like the world, as scary and as built, taken care of as it is. It's really beautiful, and there are things that the internet could never replicate. They can try and they can make me see beautiful, beautiful things, but until it like happens, and it probably will in our older age lifespan, I don't, as much and as lovely as some of the worlds in this game are, I couldn't wake up in like a fresh, crisp morning and see something gorgeous as I can IRL in here. I welcome. Yes, I'm sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say, do you think it's like the flaws that exist in reality that make it beautiful?
There are. I can look at beautiful anime girls all day. I can watch anime. I can go in here and see them.
Oh yeah. plenty of that on here. Absolutely, yeah.
Oh my god, they're everywhere. No offense, there are a dime a dozen on here. Same as with furries. They're all like, there's several bases out here, and there's millions of people thousands of people using them.
Yeah.
And there's there's so many, there's beauty, like you said, there's beauty in the flaws of things. There's beauty in the ugly, and I love finding it. I love looking at it. I really do. I like dipping my hands in potted soil and planting a flower. Like, I really like that. I love making my hands messy and dirty to make something beautiful for later for me to enjoy. And I can't do that in VR yet. I can't go outside and feel warmth in VR yet. There's just a lot, and I'm simple. I'm simple-minded sometimes. I don't mind it, but people are beautiful. People are beautiful. And they might not say or do the most beautiful things, but people are beautiful. And I get to go out sometimes. I go by myself to Barnes and Nobles, and I go to get like coffee and get like a manga, and I'll sit there and I'll listen and I'll just watch. And the last time I sat and I did that, I just watched some kids studying for a test, like doing some tutoring, and they were just talking, and then at the same time there were some people just sitting there by themselves and reading and drinking coffee, and simple things like that. Like, it's so stupid, it's so cheesy, but simple things like that remind me that I'm alive and that I'm here and that these are my experiences to enjoy, and that these are this is mine. This I chose to be here. I never would have interacted with this person otherwise. Our strings of fate wouldn't have met until I decided to go out and do that thing.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't change that. I wouldn't. I get too happy waking up. Like, I'm not a morning person, but I get too happy waking up in the morning and just, that like really dewy morning air.
Absolutely, yeah.
And like that sun just like crests over. That is one of the things that make me happiest in the world. I'm so serious. I'm so serious. It is one of the few joys that, like, no matter how shit of a day I'm having, no matter how much I want to cry or how sad the day before was or how tortured inside I feel, or even how happy, like, if I'm happier, I wake up and I experience that and I'm elated. It doesn't take much, and I hope that people realize, you're sad, but it doesn't take much to make you happy. You gotta allow yourself to be happy. And again, I went off on a tangent, but virtual reality, it allows me to meet people and make friends, but it doesn't provide those things that I'm looking for sometimes.
Yeah, I think it's definitely important to not forget the value of, like, real experiences and interacting with real people and having those moments. Like, I can definitely relate to what you were talking about, like going to Barnes and Noble and sitting there and reading a manga. I used to do that like a shit ton, like years ago. I used to. Obviously, it's not very common for like those sorts of, Barnes and Noble isn't very common anymore, unfortunately. But yeah, I used to just go there by myself and just kind of read and enjoy just being in a space where other people can come around. Like, you never know who you'll interact with. You never know the experiences you may have. You never know what could come your way. And I think the most valuable thing of life is to take care in those experiences, to value the connections that you make along the way, because they may be for a moment, they may be only for a couple of hours, they may be for months, they may be for years, but those moments that you shared with another being, like, we're all I believe we're all here not by mistake. Like, we're all here for a reason. And whether we think that we're here by mistake or not, the fact that we're here is a miracle. And that is something I will always stand by. Like, the fact that, like, we exist right now in this moment in time is a blessing and a miracle. And I think so many people forget that and belittle that. And I love, like, as much as I have my gripes about people and humans, I certainly do, 100%. But there's so much to learn. There's so many things that just interacting with different people can teach us. And that's really what makes humans and reality pretty beautiful, pretty great, honestly. And I think it's just important to keep that in mind. And I love that I get to, you know, to have these moments and share these moments. And I think, I hope that people will value their time in VR, not only as a time for them to get away and from reality, but also, you know, a chance for them to have these new experiences and interact with new people. And hopefully, at the end of the day, maybe build something from that. And who knows what'll happen. But again, that's life. And yeah, we all take a risk by interacting with each other. It's actually kind of madness that we know that we are literally putting ourselves at risk simply by engaging with one another. And yet we do it anyway because our genes, our survival requires us to. We are social creatures and we need that interaction. It's a necessity, and we do it despite the possibility of us being hurt, because we also know there's a possibility of being happy, of gaining happiness, those experiences that make us who we are. It's the pain as well as the joy that makes life worth living. So yeah, I'm 100% with you on that.
That was wonderfully said. Well,
thank you. You said it wonderfully first. But I totally hear you there. I don't think I could live in VR. I love the prospect of immersion. I love the prospect of Neuralink. I love those concepts. Those are the concepts that I adore. And I would love to be able to see, to smell, and to touch. I would love for Phantom Sense to be a universal thing, personally. So speaking of that, do you have Phantom Sense?
Not particularly, like literally like on my nose and my face, like right around my lips, but that's like it. I really wish that I can get as into it, I guess that's the word, or like to allow my mind to meld to a way that like I could, and I do feel some people even get it like on their back and like they can tell, and I don't get that. I don't
Yeah.
I'm like shocked as hell for that. Without a haptic vest or a haptic suit, I'm like how?
Yeah, it's so
But-
mind-blowing, yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised as hell, and amazed, because I don't get that. I don't, like, I personally don't understand it. It's cool. It's really fucking cool though, and I like taking advantage, because you know you gotta tease your friends and like be like I'm gonna get you, but like
Yeah.
I feel like it works a little bit better. I found with ticklish people, I've noticed that people who are slightly more ticklish, they're a little bit more subjected to it.
Interesting.
And people who, like myself, aren't.
That's actually a pretty good point, because I too am not ticklish. I mentally removed that aspect from my body, because when I was younger I used to be ticklish, but I literally like erased my ability to be ticklish from my senses. So I'm also not ticklish. But that's an interesting observation. So you're saying that people that you've observed to be ticklish IRL tend to more commonly have phantom sense.
as I found, yes. Again, I don't mind being wrong. I don't, but some of my closest friends who I know where their tickle spots are, they're like ticklish throughout, or like they have phantom sense throughout. And then some of my other friends who are ticklish in specific spots only have phantom sense in specific spots. So I think it's cool. I think it's interesting, and I don't know if it's like a weird brain association thing, but it's still pretty neat. At least to me. I wish I had phantom sense.
So
I
do
wish I was ticklish.
So do I.
God, I want to laugh so hard I pee.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can do that without phantom sense. I'm pretty sure.
Ah!
Pretty sure that's possible.
No, I ugly laugh. My first step, like literally, I was in my server before I came here because I was trying to wind down my nerves by playing some video games.
Mm-hmm.
And I have some friends who know exactly how to make me ugly laugh by doing stupid things, because my humor is stupid things, and they made me laugh so hard. They made me ugly laugh. I never want to pee. I always cry and just loop cycle of ugly laugh. I want to. Oh my god. I'm sorry.
It's fine. Like I too am of the non-phantom sense club, and it's I think you mentioned a very interesting point, the idea of just not being as hooked in as other people are, and like the really weird thing is I think it may have something to do, like, I don't know how old you are. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
26.
Okay.
I had to think.
Hey, it's all right. I gotta think about my age sometimes. Totally understandable. I am. I always say I'm in between 25 and 35. Like I have weird knowledge that kind of dates me. But like I'm pretty. I think I'm pretty young. But I'm not. I never say specifically what my age is. But I gotta think about it sometimes too. But anyway. Like, when it comes to phantom sense, I also don't think that I'm just, like, hooked in enough to experience it. But I've known of a person who came into VRChat for the first time, and like, one of my friends, like, approached them. Like, it was, like, a random person that we met in a public world. And, like, one of my friends approached them and, like, tapped them on the, booped him on the face. And, like, they like when they jumped back because they're like they immediately felt it. And like I wonder, I this is something I've been trying to figure out. Like I'm hopeful that, like, as time goes on, I'll be able to figure out, like, why do some people have phantom sense and why do some don't? What is it about certain people's neurology that makes them more susceptible to the idea of being so, I guess, in the moment, that allows them to feel as though they're fully connected? Like I've been told that it's like avatar experience, like using the same avatar over and over again. I've been told that you just kind of have it, just from being in VR, you just have it. I've been told that people who engage in various relationships or very kind of like intimately acquainted with people will say that, like, through those experiences, they've managed to attain phantom sense through those experiences. And like for me, like, I don't have it like right off the bat, but I have noticed that over the, like, I recently overpassed 1,100 hours in VRChat. So like for me, like, I've tested out phantom sense. I've tried to teach myself phantom sense. I've often relied on a couple of friends to help me with phantom sense, and it comes and goes for me. It comes and goes. So like I'm not certain of like what it could be, but the ticklish hypothesis, the ticklish theory. Well, we'll call it the phantom sense tickling theory. That sounds promising. I'd like to look more into that.
I think it might also be some people have sensory issues or stimming issues. I can't say issues. They stim or they're prone to sensory things. And some people are just more visual. I myself, it mostly depends. Like, you can come from behind and like boop me and it won't automatically, but like, it's kind of, you know how when you hold your finger in front of your face and like you're close enough to where your nose starts to tingle but it doesn't?
Yeah.
I guess it's a kind of akin to that, where like some people can kind of feel that weird like buzz of like something's happening, something's like touching me, something's near me.
Yeah, the brain just it simulates what it would be through visual, through your visual senses, and the brain just responds to it. That's how most people describe it. Yeah. But you're saying like, can you describe stimming for people, just for people who may not know?
Stimming is people who do repetitive movements or movements that they find comfort in. For some, it's more heavily recognizable in people with autism. It's also in people with ADHD. But again, more heavily with people with autism. Some of them, it's like a flapping of hands or making a sound, or like where they rub one spot specifically for a very long time, and that's all they do. They're having a conversation with you. It's like a way to get their wiggles out, almost just like a comfortable maneuver. And I used to stim very often with different things because I have ADHD, and people with ADHD I feel are a dime a dozen. My methods were like very whatever was comfortable to me, whether it was making a sound or whatever was like whatever was comfortable. And it wasn't until I read up on it, my little brother, he's autistic, I wanted to learn a little bit more, so I didn't delve into it too deeply because I know that like if I would have been sobbing. But I learned into things that I can recognize and things that like I can help him with, because unfortunately he will never be a high functioning adult. He will always need care for the rest of his life. So I looked into just what I could and little tidbits of information hidden there, and then I learned more about myself, and then I learned more about him. And again, stimming is never ever associate with something negative, but it is just a method of people making themselves comfortable or having a sense of familiarity when they are unfamiliar with their actions or what's happening around them.
I see. Can you share a little bit about your personal experience with ADHD? Because like I mean, you're right. People with ADHD is very, very common, and it seems for whatever reason, it seems like seems as though people have discovered it, or I don't know. I'm not gonna assume that people are like self-diagnosing or anything, but I've noticed in the last like half a decade or so that it seems to be extremely common, and I'm not quite sure why, but I would like to imagine that you know people legitimately go through that. So can you share a little bit about your experience and how I guess how that maybe affects you or how you deal with that?
So I learned at a very, very young age. I was diagnosed when I was little.
Okay.
Which is
so medically.
It's a good time to be diagnosed. I went to therapists and all kinds of things for it. I knew at like a young age by doctors and therapists that I had it. I learned that there are two different things. There's ADD and ADHD, and a lot of people get them confused. ADD is attention deficit disorder. It's very hard for you to stay focused. It's very hard for you to look at one thing and recognize and like look at it and be on that subject because something else in the back of your mind is telling you to do something else. And a lot of people think I have ADHD. I can't focus on shit. Two different things. ADHD is attention deficit hyperactive disorder. It's when not only is it hard for you to focus, it's hard for you to sit still and focus. So here I am, a little crackhead kid, hyped up off my mind on energy I don't know what to do with. And it wasn't until high school that I learned how to kind of help myself without medication. At an early young age, I was everywhere at once and then constantly trying different medication. My mother didn't know what to do with me, so if there was a medication to try, I tried. And unfortunately, I did not respond to too many of them well. I didn't like them. I didn't like being on them. I didn't like how they made me act. A good majority of them either like made me a zombie, didn't make me eat, made me less sociable, made me depressed. So like I just stopped taking them, and it wasn't until like I went to high school that I learned this is what helps me. I learned that like taking care of myself, putting myself into things that like give me a place to put my energy, time, and focus without necessarily the highest reward or without, I guess that would be it, without a high reward. It was just, it's what worked for me. And now, you know, again, I still get like the moments where like I have too much energy, I need to do something. Now I have video games and rhythm games and things that I can lose my focus in for a little bit, get that excess energy out, and try to go back to focusing. Unfortunately, it's as I said earlier, with ADHD, it's like you're trying to put apples in a basket, but then there's someone in the back of you like constantly telling you, do not forget the pears, don't forget the pineapples, come grab the pineapples, put the pineapples in the basket, and you're here trying to focus on the apples, and you're like, well, now I gotta go pick up the pineapples, and while you're picking up the pineapples, you're like, well, I fucking forgot to pick up the rest of the apples, and now there's pears. It's like that. It's so oh god, it makes things hard, and it makes things take longer, and that's okay, as long as you know you don't use it as an excuse, because then at that point you're making excuses for yourself and your behavior. As long as you know that like, yes, I have this, and I know I have this, but I'm gonna do my best for myself and for others to function and to make sure that like I'm not impeding or hurting. I try to remind myself that as often as I can, especially when luckily I stream VRChat, so like if I'm getting distracted, it's comical. But you know, there are all those days where it is so frustrating when I wake up and I know I have things to get done, and I rip on myself so hard sometimes, where I'm like, why can't you just shut up, sit down, and focus?
Yeah.
Things would be easier if you could just shut up, sit down, do what you gotta do, and call it a day. But brains are funny and they don't work that way, so.
Well, yeah,
you know.
I mean, but you've been making do of it. You've been making the most of it. You know, I mean, given your status as a streamer and everything, you seem to be kind of, you know, like one way or another, you seem to be finding your way and finding your way of kind of doing things that works for you, which is, you know, I think that's really yeah, that's definitely you know, I think that's hard for a lot of people, but you know, you're doing it, so it's possible, and I think that's really encouraging for people to see and observe and to know about. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I appreciate you sharing that. I'm pretty sure there was something that I wanted to ask you.
No. Oh no, it got her too.
Yeah.
She forgot.
Yeah, I might have. Have you considered the possibility of your diagnosis? Well, I mean, I like to believe that the medical the medical industry has people's best interests in mind, do no harm. I want to believe that they have the best interests in mind, but if there's something that I've definitely learned, I feel like there's this inclination to diagnose people in certain ways, so
self-diagnose as well.
Self-diagnoses as well as like actual diagnoses in order to give people medication, so that the doctor gets paid for putting someone on medication. And like, because you said you tried a bunch of different medications as well, so like, and none of them seemed to work for you. But it seems like, like medicating people has been the solution for like over a decade now, it seems. So like, do you have any thoughts about that? Did you feel that maybe you were being like used to like for someone's ends? Because like, again, none of them seemed to really work well for you. The side effects weren't really, to your liking. So do you have any thoughts about, the medical industry? The possibility, obviously people self-diagnosing and, self-medicating and things of that nature, and basically like funding big pharma, essentially.
So I'm going to tackle, because you gave me quite a bit to consider and quite a bit to talk about.
Okay.
I will say I feel people definitely rush to self-diagnose. And then they say, well, I have these and these and these symptoms. And then they say to the doctor, I have this and this symptoms, and I feel that it's this. And the doctors will go, well, is it really? And they'll go, well, it's happening often enough. I feel like it's a problem. Diagnose me and give me medication. And I say that because I've noticed people who act specific ways for attention, and not everyone's like that. Please do not think that I think everyone's like that. There are some people I've known.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Thank you.
I'm on your side. I know exactly what you're talking about.
There are some people who I've known for years, who have literally been like, oh, they've gone from being, I'm depressed, to, oh, it wasn't depression, it was ADHD, to, never mind, it was depression, I'm on medication again. And I was grateful each and every time they discovered that about themselves, because I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm glad you know what it is now. And then it was like, oh, okay, it wasn't that, it's this. And again, I had the luxury, and I will call it that, I had the luxury of finding out when I was younger. When I was able to be monitored and studied at a younger age by doctors who told me, okay, she has this. She's exuding this kind of behavior. Albeit it was I'm highly functioning with ADHD, and I was able to channel it and learn about myself enough to know what helped me best. But not everybody has that. And so I feel that some people want to justify some of their actions and make excuses as to why things aren't being the way that they want to, or why things aren't, whatever, I don't want to call it special snowflake syndrome, because that I feel is a very derogatory term that has been used against people time and time again. But I will say that there are people who just want to fit into that mold, and they are so quick to slam down the I can't think, I can't focus, I have this is why I can't do this, it's why you ask anyone with like an illness who are genuinely suffering, and they'll try their best and then default to the I'm trying, but this is kicking my ass today. Yeah. And I've noticed people who it don't hit as hard with are so fucking quick to say, well, I've got this, and this is fault, and this is why I can't do this. And it bothers me. It definitely bothers me a little bit. Touching on what you said about like the whole big pharma thing, that is so true. They want to push out those medications. I know people who say they make money on the recommendations of medication. You are quick to tell the doctor, I'm exuding this and this symptoms for ADHD, and they will tell you the top 3 trending brands for ADHD that cost not the cheapest.
Yeah.
Because that is what they get paid to shell out.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I have friends in the medical field. They tell me these things. They get paid. It's like kind of with streaming. They get paid like the money when they get what is the word called? Promotions or whatever the fuck it is. Commission. They get commissions on every sale of like bottles of pills they make, and as long as they continue to have that poster up in that room and suggest this new product, they get paid handsomely for it. And you might think, well, this doctor of mine has been my family doctor for such and such long time. They would never steer me wrong. Honey, at the end of the day, that is a person who is looking out for themselves because they have to make ends meet and provide. So I know that like you think that like I have this and this problem, and a nice handful of pills or a spoonful of this is gonna make me sit still and focus and make me talk like a normal person today. But like give yourself a chance. I guess that's what I'm saying. Give yourself an opportunity. I'm not denying the wonders and you know, the very much thorough research that science has gifted us with. Because again, at the end of the day, science is first. Everything follows. I'm just saying, like, what am I just saying? You know.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
get where you're getting at with that. I think there are many people, especially younger people, who tend to lean on, you know, like some sort of difficulty or some sort of deficiency to justify their shortcomings, and I think it's not good for people to do that. I think, like you said, people don't give themselves a chance. And they think just because they are feeling a certain way at a certain time, on a certain day, whatever, that they fall into X, Y, and Z category or whatever category that they're thinking of. And the fact is, you know, life throws shit at you. You're not gonna be happy all the time. You have to deal with shit. Things go wrong, and we have to overcome them. It's not going to always be easy. It's going to probably bring us down for a little while. But if we trust in our own ability, lean on the people who are there for us, the friends that we have, and not be so quick to, you know, maybe jump to a diagnosis of, well, because I feel this way, I must be this thing. I think a lot of young people should give themselves some time to kind of, you know, grow and improve and, you know, live life. Because
and
I think
not rush to find that solution for everything when you don't even know the problem.
Exactly. Like it's like they're like, I feel this way, so I want to solve the problem now. Like we live in a very like now culture, especially because of technology, because of the internet, because of social media. We live in a very like, I want what I want now, and if it's because of this, then maybe it's because of this. So let me go do this thing because I feel this way today, or I felt this way for this amount of time. And I think it's because I think it's a little it's very common with younger people. I mean, I'm not gonna deny that like there are actual situations where people are genuinely going through difficult things, but I personally do think like I'm in the same camp as you. I think younger people especially need to just kind of, you know, maybe talk to somebody, talk to a therapist if you can, talk to your friends. Don't like figure out, like write things down, like make it so that if you write things down it becomes real. So if you write it down,
use your problem solving skills.
Yeah.
Like try and like infer from like what you understand from others as well as yourself.
Yes. Unfortunately, problem-solving skills are not very common these days with many people. Unfortunately, it's not a common thing that people can do. It sucks. It's horrible, and it's especially my personal observations. It's just not a common thing that people have these days. And I'm always happy when people are able to do that, but give yourself some time to grow, and I think people will discover more about themselves, that, you know, life is going to be painful sometimes, and you're going to feel down about a couple of things, but it's okay to feel that way.
Yeah.
And maybe it will go away, and maybe you'll become a better person because you went through those things. But of course, you know, talk to a specialist if you can. Talk to your friends. Like, always, you know, use the people that you have around you, rather than kind of leaning on Big Pharma and giving them your money, because they want to medicate you. Like, it's a very very real thing, and there are so many ways that, you know, people's self-imposed pathologies are just, you know, helping these companies rake in the dough. So, you know, give yourself more credit.
Very much right.
I think people are stronger than they give themselves credit for, but they never really have a chance to really discover that about themselves.
I feel that social media, as great as it is in drawing people together, it does this disgusting thing of selling an illusion of happiness, constant happiness, and I am never constantly happy. I may be able to smile and be goofy and funny. It's because, you know, people out there know what depression and what sadness is. But going back, I'm digressing. People don't allow themselves to feel sad. I have spoken with so many people, and I love them the high hell, but they were just like, oh, I try to be happy, I try to put a smile on my face, and I say, why? Why not just let yourself feel, let yourself be, cry for a couple days.
Yeah.
There's literally hormones that release when you cry and you feel better. It's practically the equivalent of taking a short jog. When you cry for like a few minutes, it exhausts you because it's meant to. It's supposed to be as you coil up and get tense and get, you know, feel that fear and feel that sadness. Crying is supposed to be like literally the trigger that releases all that. It's literally what's going to make you feel better. Letting yourself be sad is what's going to let you feel better.
Yes.
And then it goes as you say. People are so quick to hold that in and then say, I'm depressed, and let it carry on for several weeks, months, years. Oh, hello, goodbye. And they don't realize that they have the answer to the solution that they've been looking for this entire time. Yeah. And again, I very strongly believe in medication and therapy and taking care of yourself and getting yourself the help that you need.
Yes, 100%.
But if you are not trying to help yourself first, why are you reaching out? Like, why is step 1 reach out, step 2 help myself? Like, that doesn't make sense. Can you please? That doesn't make sense at all. My goodness.
Technology.
I'm oh my god. Like, I'm here like
yeah. But yeah, I 100% get what you're saying, and like I don't want people to think that I'm against medication. You know, I have my own form of medication that I personally take because, you know, over time, growing up, coming to my own conclusions, looking inside of myself, and giving myself a chance to actually like experience life, and drawing conclusions that wasn't like to believe that maybe I can overcome the thing and give myself a chance to overcome the thing. Yeah, I take my own medications too. So I'm a firm believer in getting help if it comes to that. But always talk to someone first. Always talk to a professional. And yeah, absolutely. But yeah, this is all basically to kind of bring this back together. This is all really kind of like bring it back to like just social interactions on VRChat and like the value of human interaction in both VR as well as in reality, and kind of bringing that all back so people can, you know, have a chance to experience reality in a healthy way, and not to sell themselves short, you know, that they can bring what they have in VR to reality as well. And if people give themselves a chance to do that, they will become better, stronger, more capable, and reality won't seem as scary anymore. But we are also talking about phantom synths as well. So that kind of like brought, like, that was like bringing everything full circle. Like the idea of phantom synths and being engaged, and you know, and that kind of led us on that track of, you know, Big Farmer, because I was asking about that, because you know, it all comes together. It all comes together. So with that out the way, we've talked about VR and VRChat and your thoughts about that. I gotta talk about the elephant in the room. BB. Furry Life. Tell me about it.
Oh, wowzers. I got introduced to everything through Orend.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Go on.
And I had only ever known of furries and things through cringe compilations and r/nice guy things, and I only ever knew of that. And coming into this community, I have met and found some of the most accepting, intelligent, interesting people I have ever met in my life. There are in any kind of community, there are the cringeworthy ones. There are the people who give it a bad name. There are the people who meet the stereotype. But I have been so blessed with the fact that those around me have chosen or have found themselves not necessarily fitting the mold, because they have their interests, they have their likes, they have their hands in fantasy with what they like and with what they find attractive and with what they have their interests in. But the kindness has been tantamount to that. Like, it is crazy. It is insane how I am friends within almost every community on here. I have shit posters. I have people who hang exclusively in front of mirrors, human like I'm in everywhere. And the people that I've had the pleasure of spending the most time with and the most conversations with have been furries. They have engaged me in conversations that have allowed me to expose more intimate and emotional sides of myself. I have, again, made friends with people who just so happen to be furries, and that is fine. I have always been accepting, and I will continue to be accepting, because I am not a person who is without fault and has the ability to judge based on someone's interests. I can't. I don't feel anyone can. Some do, but I can't. And watching people post in my server like, oh my god, look at this new game, look at this new thing, look at this funny furry porn, look at this art. They get so enraptured and so enthused and excited. And I can't help feeling that myself sometimes, because I'll be in stream and they're like, oh, let me show you this picture of my dog. Let me tell you, I went to this furry convention and I had a wonderful time. Let me tell you that, I finally got the picture of my sona drawn. I've been in the works of drawing my sona for so long, and now I finally have like a concrete picture of it. That's exciting, and I get so excited for them. They literally talk about how, their identity is wrapped into this character or this version of themselves that just so happens to have ears and a tail. And again, I was a complete blockhead and not choosing to see, at first, because again, I didn't know. And I didn't know anyone in the community. And it wasn't until I met and I made friends and I learned that I found that, again, as I said before, people are beautiful. And then having them show me People who are excited about things are beautiful. People who are passionate about things are beautiful. And I've gotten to meet this community and fall in love with these kinds of people. Like, I'm happy. I am dealing with my own stress and my own worries. Since I've grown and met this community, I've been happier than I have been in a while. I will say that much. And I personally don't have like a sona or anything necessarily, as in deep, like I am learning so much about the community. But I'm happy being here. And the fact that they literally stretch out their hands, not even metaphorically, they do. And they welcome people. You're trans and you don't fit, that's okay, honey. You don't need to have a furry Avi, just come sit with us. Come be safe with us. Like, your parents aren't accepting of, like, the uncertainty you find within yourself. You know? Come be here. Come talk to us about that. Come divulge your feelings, your emotions, and your internal struggles. And I think it's because they themselves have gone through so much. Like, furries, I'm sure when they were younger, didn't fit into a mold. They didn't fit into... I'm not an anime dweeb. I'm not a jock. I'm not this. I'm not that. So they made their own community. They made their own thing, and it's filled with people from all walks of life. I am literally friends with a naval captain who travels the world. And another one of my friends, they are up there in a large, like, tech company. And then I have other people who know how to do amazing art, incredible texture work. They can draw you the most beautiful looking anime woman, and then 5 minutes later they're bored, they're drawing two furries fucking. Again, you can find these kind of parallels in any community, but I have found this one, and I am baffled by the things that I'm learning and the things I get to see. And I'm happy.
Interesting.
I'm happy.
Yes. So you're relatively new to the furry community, would you say?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't know shit or shite about it.
Yes. So how long have you been? I guess, from your perspective, how long have you been in the community?
Since I met Orend, roughly since 2021.
Okay.
Everything I've come to learn has been since then, and I've just been an upward scale of just learning things from here on out. Like, I have just learned so much. I've gone to 2 furry conventions now, and I already know which one I want to go back to and which one I don't.
Gotcha. All right.
Oh.
And can you tell me about oh gosh, I just lost my train of thought. So you're relatively new in the furry community. I guess how...
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right. Okay, sorry. That was my question. So, can you explain just very quickly what a sona is? I know what it is, but for people who may not know, can you explain that for them?
I don't even fully know myself. Like, most of what I understand of sonas, because a fursona just happens to be a sona that is a furry. But a sona can just be anything you identify as. Anything, and I'm so serious as anything. There are people who have sonas. You know the movie Cars by Pixar? There are sonas for that. I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. You know, and a sona can be anything that you find your true self in. Anything. And I'm learning that fursonas are literally just who they really feel in just a furry format.
Okay.
That's what I'm learning. You know, I keep saying they because I'm speaking from a broadened perspective.
Right.
I can continuously speak about myself, but if I'm giving terms and definitions, I don't want to give definitions and stuff as a custom or as necessarily always told by me, because I'm still learning. I don't know. So what I've been told and what I'm learning is what I'm
it's anecdotal,
basically regurgitating.
Yeah. No
Yeah.
problem. No, I totally understand that. If I can, perhaps, I don't know. I don't perspectively. I don't know. Perspectively isn't a word. Specifically, I'm not sure what a fursona is. However, I do have a sense of what, the term persona, like the philosophical term of persona. There's the broad term. Like, basically, it's an image of oneself, like the image of one's soul. So it's essentially what people see themselves to be on the inside, brought to the forefront in a specific form, which I can understand why it's, shortened to sona, because you don't want to limit it to simply a humanoid form, of course. But the idea, the concept is rooted more so in the idea of like the internal vision, like what people see themselves, their souls to be. The image of that, the picture of what they would see if someone could look into their soul, and that's brought outward for people to see and acknowledge, which I if you apply that to the idea of a fursona, it's essentially like a look and feel that a person this is like my thinking of it, if I'm just connecting the dots, a person who finds a certain vision of themselves in the form of what a furry would be, and they obviously find a look that reflects their internal self, and they can bring that to the forefront. Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And you explained that so eloquently. Yeah. No. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Cool. I'm hoping that makes sense, and obviously, people from the furry community, please, correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm mistaken. But I have a feeling that's kind of on point of generally what that is reflecting of. So with regards to to you, and you don't have a fursona as of yet.
Nothing really. I have new OCs that I've had the joy of making and seeing if they resonate deeply with me, but nothing has struck me. And I've been in a ton of communities. Again, I am a massive Sonic nerd, and I have OCs out the ass in Sonic, and I've tried. I design characters as simplistic as they may be. I design characters and I try to make them come to light, and I'm like, well, maybe this one, and eventually one will find me. It's just that I'll wait. I don't mind waiting until something strikes me, and I'm like, well, maybe this is a little bit closer to what home is for me and what I feel is me. But for now, I feel like right now this is the closest thing to what I'm comfortable in. This little funny kitty Abby.
Okay, I was just about to ask
very
you.
Small.
Yeah, it's obviously very adorable, for sure. It's
Oh,
I have a thing for cats. I mean, if you couldn't tell,
You're adorable.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, obviously I have a hard time resisting giving you head pats. Just nose boots.
Aww.
The whole nine. I gotta do it. I gotta do it. But so this is how you usually do your streams. Is this how you typically do your streams in this avatar?
I have traditionally 3 of these that I cycle through. There's this one, my black and white, and then my all white cat that I based off of. You've ever seen Aristocats?
I have. It's been a very long time though.
The main cat, Duchess, she's white all over with blue sparkly eyes. That's the one I based. That's my personal texture, and I based her off her. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But those will be the ones I'm primarily in.
Okay.
Or the avatar that you use for advertising. That's the one that I spent a little bit more time and a little bit more energy into providing outfits and to, making her the way I want. And she's still she's a work in process because I'm still adding and taking things away from her. But these are my babies. I have a couple of them, but these are mine. They're what I like.
So they are they're your Avis. These aren't like public or available or easily downloadable. These are your edits, modifications. These are your personal Avis.
So while this one was purchased, yeah, this one is more readily available to people. The one that you posted on your advertisements is not. That is not something that like anyone can just go and buy, because that one was made, kitboshing things together by I believe you're friends with her too, Ayame Wolf. But no.
Wait, who? What was the name?
My apologies. Ayame Wolf.
Ayame.
She's friends with Tico and Shox, and so I kind of assume that she's kind of known a little bit more than I am. She's a pretty cool avatar code.
I don't think I know
She's an avatar creator.
Yeah, I don't think I've met them.
That's okay. That's okay. My fault on assuming. She's really sweet. She made the Avi for me, and she worked with me. And I passed that Avi along like 2 or 3 people getting texture work and stuff done. But she finally has like a bunch of funny, goofy things on her, like my little leg tattoo. I have a picture of Sonic tattooed onto my leg, and it's like a fat little Chungus boy. And my friend, like, he took the tattoo, he traced over it, and he put it on the Avi. And they got my other tattoos on. Like they have my things on there, and she feels a little bit more personal, I guess. I don't know. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't come in
and
that
yourself.
one, actually.
I mean, this Avi, throughout all of my content, is the one I'm the most known for. While I did present you with the picture of that one, this is the one that I'm most known for. I have several videos on TikTok of me in this Avi. When I did my subathon, it was primarily in this Avi, and I found myself defaulting back to this Avi because it's what is comfortable for me. Again, I'm making strives to like change and to get to something a little bit more permanently recognizable, but for right now, this is what, when people think of BB, this is usually the avatar that they think of me in. This is usually how they see me.
Gotcha. All right. And I know you asked me about me and the avatars that I use. Yeah, for me, I am in the same boat as you, because I only started streaming a year ago. so I'm in the very same boat. I don't have my own personal avatar as of yet. I don't know why I keep saying avatar, because I'm not a boomer, but like I'm just so used to using that term. Like people say Avi these days. It's not avatar, it's Avi. But yeah, like I'm pretty sure this is a public avatar. Pretty sure of that. The one that I started streaming in is no longer available, but it is purchasable. The creator basically modified it and then made it purchasable. So the one that basically I was trying to build, like, in all of my marketing currently, that's the first one that I was using in all of my marketing, and now I don't have it anymore. So this was the next one that I fell back on. So I would say, because I've done a lot of podcasts in this avatar, people can recognize me in this one. But I'm mostly just kind of like jumping around. Like I have 2 others that I've used in the past. I don't really use the one that I've used like when I first started streaming. There was one that I was kind of playing around in and like doing a little goth bit in that I have, but I don't really use it anymore. If you look on my YouTube shorts, you can see it. And one that I tried out for the first time last stream, and it felt pretty good. But thankfully, all the avatars that I've used have been largely ones that people seem to really. My personality is intact in every single one that I've chosen, because I believe I'm a very good judge of character, and thusly I can choose Avis that fit my, what I would believe myself to be internally. Like I wouldn't say my persona, but just like how I envision myself to be and how I can bring an Avi to life. I have a pretty good sense of how I can do that and how I do that. Like I've even worn like the very like notorious Godfall avatar Like I've worn that before, and like even with that, like people have said that I was able to, like, you know, bring that one to life and give it a different kind of feel that people weren't used to seeing. So, you know, I rely a lot on my personality and just the, you know, I guess the soul that I exude simply by being me. But yeah, I don't have my own avatar yet, just like you.
Thank you.
Yeah. But with regards to, you know, I want to know more about, you know, your life as a furry. Like, so you identify as a furry. Let's just say that. Would you say that? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. And if someone were to be interested in getting into that community, I imagine it's the same as like any other community, where you just kind of meet people, like step by step. You meet various people, you surround yourself with certain people, and little by little you kind of get involved in it. But you've also communicated the idea of the furry community being very, very welcoming and accepting of various people from various walks of life. So I suppose the question is, like, if someone thinks that, like, how does one know that they could be a furry? And how did you come to that conclusion yourself?
Oh, belief. I guess if you really are just, if you really just like anthros, I guess.
Just look at a picture
There's-
of two furries fucking, and like, if you into it, like. I mean,
I don't know, because like I personally with the art, it doesn't really do that much for me. It's more of like the situation. I'm like, yo, okay, if that were to happen to me, I think that'd be hot as fuck.
Okay.
But I guess it's the same thing with like any other thing. Like, I'm not like heavily in the longboarding community, but I longboard. I'm not a longboarder, but I longboard, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, I do.
So like, it's like that. I'm not necessarily sure what dictates a furry and what makes a person a furry. I guess it's more so, do they say they're a furry, or do they feel they're a furry? Do they identify as a furry? Because you can have mild interests and not be fully enveloped in the thingy. And I don't want to heavily like set a rule set or a guideline on what this community has, what it offers, and what it is. And by saying like, okay, this is the gate post of, if you cross this threshold, that's it. You're in here. You're, because like you
passed the
can
furry
just think,
exam.
Like, yeah.
And now you're officially one of us.
Yeah.
But it's not like
guess.
that, is what you're saying.
I don't think so. I don't know. I'm a little bit more, I guess I'm a little bit more easygoing on stuff like that though. I can't, unless you can hound me all day for Sonic the Hedgehog knowledge and knowledge about like Tetris and silly things that like I'm interested in. But when it comes to like these things, I guess I'm kind of like head empty, no thoughts. I can't really provide an answer. I wish I knew. I'm just here now. I'm just here. I'm sorry. Not necessarily the best answer, but
that's totally fine. It was I think it was a pretty complicated question given the circumstances of like how you've, you know, been a part of the community. You're still relatively new and still learning many things. I think it's I just want to get your perspective on the whole thing. So it's totally all right that, you know, you have an answer that, you know, it's an answer, but it doesn't really kind of communicate, you know, like the like how someone can actually, you know, take steps to being a part of a community. But if I had to, you know, venture to take a guess, I think it's a lot like making friends. Like, you surround yourself with the kinds of people that that hopefully make you better, hopefully people that inspire you, and that share interest that you do. And, you know, obviously in VRChat, it's when you're in VRChat, you're in an Avi. Everyone has to wear an Avi of some sort, and it's very easy to find people who, I think at the end of the day, like, you encounter people for who they are, and if they happen to be a furry, they just happen to be a furry. It's not like a community that I guess it is a community. Like, I suppose it is a community, but it's also like they're just people who have found camaraderie with one another around a certain theme, around a certain interest. And I think it's just a lot of like making friends. Like if you like FPSs, like you're not gonna try to find someone like who just specifically plays FPSs. You're gonna usually find the person, like the person for who they are, maybe find out that they play FPSs, and they're into that. They're into that sort of thing, or they're into MOBAs, for example. Like I don't think people go looking for people of a certain category, per se. They encounter people who maybe look or dress or present in a certain way, and through interactions with them, find themselves drawn to that group of people. And to me, I don't know, obviously I'm not a part of the furry community, to me it seems just like a very similar situation where people are just gathering together who just find people that that they like, and that make them better, that inspire them, and they just happen to wear anthro avatars.
That's pretty much it. I feel a lot of it has to do with like attachment or like comfortability in things that they found when they were younger. Myself included. I have attachment to things that made me feel safe, made me feel like the world wasn't so bad. And I say it like that because I didn't have like a really good childhood. I had like blips and flaps of it. And again, I don't mind talking about this. It's a sensitive subject, but like everyone, we all have our things, and I don't mind putting them out there.
Yeah.
But, but it's more so like what shaped them, what shaped people, what shaped them into what they learned to love as they got older. And I guess some people just found that like this is the thing that I never grew out of. It's the one thing I found when I was younger, and I just never let go. Yeah. As I found with a friend of mine, like they learned when they were younger, this is what they liked, and then they kind of started liking My Little Pony and anthro women, and that is a-okay.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Yeah.
And My Little Pony's cool as fuck. At least the last generation. I don't know about this new shit.
I'm sure if you encounter
Best
people like who like encounter Power Rangers or who really like Power Rangers, it's like the same thing. It's like
Power Rangers are cool as
like they're like I love this and this and this generation of Power Rangers, but that generation, nah, I'm not too sold on that. It's like it's a very similar thing. You are so
right.
Yeah,
you are so right, because there's you ask anybody their favorite type of Power Ranger or their favorite fucking their favorite force of Power Ranger, and you can kind of pin down that person down pat. Like, I've discovered that you can learn a lot from the favorite kind of Power Ranger that they like. You honestly can.
100%. Yeah, I've never actually done that to like assess somebody like as like a suitable person for me to interact with. I never used Power Rangers as a barometer of interactability, but I agree with you. If you ask somebody that question, it's definitely a way to kind of get a feel for them and like where they stand. Yeah.
You gotta open up with that when you're meeting someone. Hey, how you feeling today? What kind of Power Ranger, generation are you feeling a little bit more attached to this morning? Let's tackle that.
I may have to throw that into my interviews from now on. Maybe. Hey, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But I'm glad you can see where I'm coming from with that. That's cool.
Oh hell yeah.
Nice.
You're cool. I think you're neato spaghetti.
Oh please, I'm just doing my thing, just like you doing your thing. But you're pretty awesome.
You gotta do the little.
Yeah. I mean, I do.
Straight up awesome. Solidified.
My my community already knows that I have a massive ego, so like they already know I'm everything I say I'm like figuratively hair flipping every time.
As you should. Every time I give you a compliment, you said it, but you're so right.
It is true, but like as long as you said it and I didn't have to say it, hey, I accept it. But
fuck yeah.
All right. So let's get into the nitty gritty of streaming. Streaming, BB the streamer. So I have done a bit of research. We'll just say that I've done a bit of research. I don't usually do this, but I had to look into you, just like see where things have evolved over time. And you started streaming in, I believe it was June 2nd of last year was your first stream. Which is funny because that's my birthday, which is really funny.
Happy early birthday! Happy early birthday! Oh my god! Honey, happy early birthday!
I appreciate that. Thank you. But yeah. You totally started streaming on my birthday, and you have you're not even a year old as a streamer. And you were able to get over 1K followers. And like, I know like numbers isn't a big deal, but we have to paint the picture here. We're painting the picture. So like, you started in June, the beginning of June. By the start of October, that's August, September. That's 4 months. You were already over 1K followers in 4 months, which is wild. That's wild. That's crazy growth. But you also were streaming like a mad woman. You were streaming like all the time. Like you were streaming like five-ish days a week. So you were very consistent. I imagine you brought a lot of energy, the same energy that you have now. I'm sure not much has changed over the course of a year. And one way or another, you just kind of exploded. You just kind of exploded onto the scene, and I'm curious to know, like, what has that been like for you?
Scary. I'm so scared. So you are 1,000% right. However, I only can quote these because I was talking with a friend recently. I reached 1K followers within the first few months of streaming, like the first 2-3 months.
Yes.
And in like October, we reached 2K. And we did a whole 2K celebration as for the subathon. Like that's what the subathon was. The subathon was 2K celebration. Cool, we did it. 2K, now we're celebrating. And we're due for another milestone because like we also celebrated our 3K at the beginning of the year and like towards the beginning, and now we're at like 3.3, 3.4, somewhere around that.
3.4, yeah.
And I'm more baffled at the because like anyone can follow. I'm more baffled at the amount of people in the server because like the server has like 570, like we're almost at 600. That's a lot of people.
That is wild.
In one little community talking and wanting to hang out. Tuning into a stream is one thing, but I'm more baffled at the amount of people in the server. And again, going back to what I said earlier, I was not going to stream in the slightest. It has been suggested to me for some time, and it was literally hanging around streaming friends, talking to people, getting their opinions, and letting them convince me. And I said, okay, you know what, fuck it. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna give it like the good old 1-2 and see if it's for me. And it's been like this since, and everyone's been so kind and supportive, and for that I am eternally grateful. Because again, I I started out as a funny little pink socks avatar and doing my little funny dance redeems and just having fun, and everyone has allowed me the ability to run the channel and to have the fun that I know that they will have, because I've taken the time to like talk to people and learn. And I also will attribute it, I have a fairly selective but pretty good memory, and I can recognize names and people in chat. So I know if someone's been gone for like several months and they're like, oh hey BB, haven't seen you in a while, I could be like, yo, I have not seen you since insert month here. How have you been? Where have you been? What's up with you? And it's more about that. It's kind of like a returning home feeling. It's like you left and you're coming home to silliness and love and warmth, and you've been gone, but it's always there. It's kind of like that thing. And I hope to continuously provide that for people. People have graciously gifted me with their time, and that is something that is never refundable. And so I'm trying my hardest to make sure that the funny ha-has that I give are worth that. That the cool little wiggle redeems, or if they want me to go stop what I'm doing and do a karaoke stream, that I can facilitate if I can. If my mental is there, I will do so. You know, I have been so blessed with the things that I have been given. And I have been consistently racking my brains for new redeems and new thank you events, which we're planning, because it's about to be a year, and I'm going to be planning a thank you event to my community, because it's been a year and they gave me somewhere to be and somewhere to be loved for a full year. Unquestioned, unabashed. They gave me somewhere to be loved. And there was a lot of rocky things, like with people who wanted to report me over my name. Like, I was like, what the fuck? Like, they reported my name because it's a sexual content name, and blah blah, because BeautyBanger is blah 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 blah. And
they
that's fine.
They could
Again,
find nothing else. They had nothing else on you, so
yeah, that's...
they were jealous and they had nothing else on you, so they just they took a pop shot at the easiest thing. That's all that was. Clearly.
1,000%, and my community felt the same, because unfortunately we learned that it was the same group of people who did it the first time. They just kept returning. They just kept returning and making the same report. We could tell, because we can tell who's in the chat.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. It's again, the evolution of the channel from like the beginning to now, like it's crazy. I wouldn't, if you would have told me, when I first started, I expected to maybe get 200 followers, and like I think 2-3 weeks in we reached 200. Like, I was baffled at the amount of love and support. Like, I sometimes, in order to like humble myself or remind myself of like where we start, I go in the announcement page in my server and I go all the way to the tippity top, which is again not that far away because we've only been here for a year.
Yeah.
I go all the way to the tippity top and I see like the first like, hi, welcomes in, and hey, 200 people followed me. There's 100 people in the server now. That's fucking insane. Like, and here we are about to reach 600, and here we are about to reach 3.5. Like, I'm baffled. I am baffled consistently with the amount of support and the people that want to join and come hang out. Granted, you know, they allowed me to provide the space for them, and they allowed me to give them somewhere to feel comfortable and to be themselves. You know, with rules in place, because there have been people, boy howdy, there are people that literally come into your house, take your fucking their shoes off, put their socks on your table, and
get a little too comfortable. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like
Oh my
first message.
Oh,
wow, you're so hot. I wanna do things to you. Like, first fucking message out the gate.
I have gotten that.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Why can't
I've
people?
gotten
Why can't
first
people just
message
be
in
normal?
chat? Big booba kitty.
Yeah, it's just be normal. Just be normal, guys. Like, for real.
Honestly. Oh my god. I will say, I like to call reference this is going back to your talking about VRChat and talking about the cringeworthy side of it. I always tell people the Ballad of Water. Oh, I can't say his name. Mike. I almost said his full name. Oh my god. I forgot he still plays. But he was literally a dude who found me and thought I was like a quiet, shy woman who, you know, would only listen to what a man had to say, and consistently chatting with me and putting words in my mouth and having conversations with himself. And boy, howdy, did I have to yeet him the fuck out of there when he's like, oh, booty, people don't think like us, everyone else is the worst, blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, whoa, okay, hold on now. Hold on, buckaroo.
Yeah.
Wowzers.
Yeah. I mean, when as a female streamer, you know, as a woman streamer, however you want to describe it, there's always going to be like those couple of people who, you know, get the wrong idea. They form their perception of you, and they apply that towards you without actually getting to know you in any shape or form. They draw their own conclusions about your voice, your Avi, you know, how you respond and react to certain things, and they form their own image of you, and then they place that on you, and then they think that if they do X, Y, and Z, they're going to get a certain result. And that's normally that's oftentimes I would say 10 out of 10 times they're wrong. I would say 10 out of 10 times.
Oh yeah.
So like it's just it's so commonplace for women streamers, female streamers to have to kind of like they have to kind of beat some people down. You know, I'm here to entertain you, but we have certain boundaries, certain expectations. I'm here to be your source of entertainment. Sure, you know, I'll express my love and affection for you guys because you're special to me and I care a lot about you. But you know, don't like there is a boundary. There is a boundary. I'm here for you, but off camera, I got stuff to do. I got a life. I do the things and stuff, and you know, I think some people just kind of they don't understand that, like, they think because, you know, they've subbed to you that they have like access to you or something like that, you know?
Ooh. I've gotten those people where they said straight up, "Oh, I'm subbed to you. What can you do for me?" And you know, I will be. I don't know how comfortable. This is an 18+ stream, I know, but like.
I know, it's fine.
I don't want to get like too nitty gritty, but.
No, it's gonna be on YouTube.
So,
it's fine. You know, it's fine. It's good. Well, I'm 18+. People know what I'm about. You know, it's whatever. Go ahead. I'm sure I'll be fine.
I am not shy about my sexual experiences. I'm not shy about my sexual wants and desires. I'm not, because I am a sexually active woman. You know, I enjoy being pleasured. I enjoy pleasuring, and that is things that we talk about. That is things that we get into because as adults, and I only make adult-only content.
Yep.
That is something that I feel is healthy within a healthy boundary to discuss.
Yes, because we're all adults. Right.
Exactly. And I also host NSFW nights where
stuff and things.
Again,
heavy petting.
Stuff and things. Heavy pet. You know that video of them petting the dog?
Yes.
Heavy petting.
Yeah.
But while I do those and I provide a place for people to do those things, people think because I speak about that openly or because I have that they can do and act however they want. And they're like, "Oh, you know, she's a woman, she won't say anything," or, you know, "Oh, she's sexually open with her about what she's experienced and about what she's okay to talk about." You know, so it's fine, you know, it's fine to make these advances, it's fine to have these assumptions, and it's fine.
Respect just goes out the window for whatever reason.
Oh boy,
so
howdy.
weird.
Oh my god. So I am not shy about shutting that down. I'm not, because again, it goes back down to being a woman, and I'm fairly attractive IRL. And unfortunately, I've had to perfect the resting bitch face whenever I have to do things, whenever I have to go places, because I don't want those advances, because I don't want those comments, I don't want that conversation, I don't want any of that. So I'd rather look mean and imposing than approachable and potentially targeted.
Right, of course.
And I can put that metaphorical bitch face back on and say, well, I'm not interested, and you're not welcome to be here if that's your thought. And I've had to with some people. I've had to talk to them and say, like, yo, what are you doing? Do you not want to be here? Do you think that joining a VC and saying who wants to talk lewd ship with me, or if you're horny and you know it, clap your hands, is acceptable? Like, I've had to pull people aside from that. Like, and it's I will call direct reference to it because I have talked to that person. They've apologized and they are very kind to say, like, it will not happen again. But I say those direct things because while those were lighter statements on the side, there have been heavier infractions that I've had to, like, crack a hammer down on because people think, again, I'm a woman. I don't know what to say or what to do, and they can just do however and say however. Like, we can delve into this kind of thing forever, and I feel like this is a topic that, like, as another woman you can understand, and this is something we can vent mutual frustrations on. But going back to the woman streaming thing, it's definitely, and one thing I hate, people think I'm on here to be sexy and cash grab for being a woman on the internet. And unfortunately, that stigma, it makes it hard to be a woman streamer because people think, well, the reason why you're doing so successful is you're a woman on the internet. Why can't I be funny? Why can't I genuinely care about people and provide a space for people to feel cared in? Well, you're a woman on the internet, you've got boobas, you know, people see you, you're attractive, you know, that makes them come flocking and come running. Like, primarily, like, my first bit of content was literally just funny, haha content. It was literally just stuff to make people giggle and laugh. And as I slowly started learning, like, I can be funny, but it doesn't have to be everything that I am. I don't have to strictly be a funny woman, you know. Ugh. God, it's a heartache and a headache, and it's frustrating but understandable as to why people assume, but still frustrating, really annoying. And I didn't mean to take it down a mental thing. I'm kind of just venting frustrations.
You are more than welcome to do so, honestly. Like, I think it's important that these conversations are had and that they're put out into the open. And I think a lot of people, including me, can relate, and I think it's the context and the camaraderie is appreciated. So yeah, like, obviously, you know, you've become very successful in a very short period of time. Like, I would not want to downplay that as simply you being a woman. Like, that's in no way the case. Like, you clearly have the chops. You clearly have the entertainment. You're an entertainer. You can create content. You know how to interact with people. You're sociable. You're approachable. There are so many just personality traits and just the qualities that you personally exude as an individual that I believe that many people I've found, like, extremely attractive about you, not just in the sexual way, but just as a person. Like you are an attractive individual who people are attracted to, just by you being you. And I think that's like that. I think it's important to not downplay that. There are plenty of female streamers, plenty of women streamers who are just in the gutter, who don't find success just because they have booba. But, it's not just because of that. And I think guys who say that don't really understand. They don't really get it. And they're just drawing their own conclusions based on their own assumptions. And they're not really taking the time to understand that, hey, we as women are allowed to do what we are allowed to do. We are allowed to create our boundaries and share ourselves in a way that we want to with our communities. And we should be allowed to do that, just as guys are allowed to be, loud, obnoxious, like funny at times, but just they're allowed to just be dudes, or they're just like, just generic dudes. They're allowed to do that, and women are allowed to use what they have, their personalities, their assets, in the way that they deem fit. But that's not the end all be all. There's so much more to the person, which is why I'm glad that I was able to get you here, so I think people can understand you as an individual, as a person, a lot better, because I think that's largely missed from and ignored from a lot of people. They just see what they see, and I'm so glad that you went on that rant, because it's super important for people to understand. I get it. Yeah.
Well, there's the light side of the success. There's the dark side of the everything that goes into it.
Of course.
And I will not lie. I have an incredible team of mods, and I will say they are a team. I have over 15 mods throughout my channel, throughout my server. I have a team of people who care and offer their unfiltered advice, their unfiltered offerings of, this is what we're seeing. If you do this, it's stupid. This person's too much. We think you should remove them. Because again, I'm a little bit more tender-hearted, to where I'm like, give the person the benefit of the doubt. Give them that one. Always give someone that one. And I have like 2 or 3 people in there who are like, no, you shouldn't. This is why. And that, that helps me, because then I can see, all right, take the love glasses off of, like, being nice, and sometimes you gotta be a bitch.
Yeah, I hate that. I do that
literally...
too. yeah. Having to just throw the hammer down is never pleasant, but sometimes you gotta.
Yeah, they're wonderful. My mods are my friends, and there have been some that have been there since day one. There have been some that have just joined. But they are all people I care about, and they are all people who have given me guidance. Because again, I don't know a lot, and I'm learning, and they are literally offering themselves to help me learn more and understand better. And understand them, and understand my community, and understand what I can do and what I can make better. And I'm grateful. I am grateful. I am grateful. I will say it a million times over. I am grateful. If they want to leave and go on to higher, greener pastures, I will welcome them, and I will invite them to do so. I will give them the platform and the space, because always, my first mantra is help a homie. Give them that space, give them that ability. But if any of my mods or any of my friends decide to leave, I'd be upset, but I know that if they were going, they'd go for a reason. And I would love to see them grow, and as I've done for others, I will mod for them. I'll support them any way I can, whether it's giving some biddies, starting a hype train, helping them guest star in advance in an event, and give them my viewers, whatever it is, it's whatever. It's little, it doesn't mean anything, so I'll do it. It's the support that means the most, and they're giving me their love, their offerings, their support, and I want to give them so much more in return. And I have to say this. I know it's not necessarily what we were talking about, since we were talking about like my success or whatever, but like any well-oiled machine, there has to be someone there to help run it and keep it from breaking down. And that is exactly what my mods and friends have helped me do. Because again, at the start of that subathon, it was rough. It was so hard. My dog had died, my grandfather had died, my cousin had died, my grandmother was sick. It was really, 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 really rough. and knowing that my mods as well as my community, you know, were like, BB, you know, that is a lot. I asked for like I think 2 days, and they're like, no, you should take longer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which I didn't.
Yeah,
which I should have, but
yeah. Absolutely.
I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
It's whatever. It's whatever. I cried about it like later.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm grateful.
Yeah, and that totally makes sense to me. Like, you have to give credit to the people who have had your back and who have, you know, obviously who've been supporting you since the very beginning. And you know, us as streamers, you know, we'd be remiss if we didn't, show gratefulness to our mods, who have our backs. They tease us. They sometimes, they highlight things about us that, we don't need to see, but it's funny. It's funny in the moment, and like we get over it. It's not a big deal, but they're there, and they always got our back. So we should be so lucky as to have mods that actually are there and give a damn, and
Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And of all the team of doofuses, they're my team of doofuses, and I am their big old doofus captain.
True.
Facing the wrong way as they point in a completely different direction.
So can you tell us a little bit about back to streaming and all that? Like how have you grown compared to your first stream? Compared to now?
Oh God.
Like what? Okay. Like I guess what was your first stream like, and how is it different from how you do your streams now? Given the short span.
Nerves. Oh my God, I can still remember how scared I was. So terrified. My main thought is no one would show up. And I still worry about that. I'm gonna keep it a grippy sock with you.
You and me both. I don't know why people are even here.
I'm gonna stream. Exactly. I'm worried. I'm gonna stream and I'm talking to an empty auditorium.
Yeah.
Every time. But at the beginning, it was even more. Like you can hear it in my voice. I'm constantly like shaking. I'm nervous. Like I'm checking things. I didn't know how to do anything. So it was literally just like figuring it out, watching YouTube tutorials, seeing what my friends do, meeting and making friends too. That was the crazy thing. Like, I met a lot of people just meandering through VRChat, and I just so happened, like, I meander good. That is a constant thing on my channel and with my friends, is that I'm a known meanderer. I meander myself good into situations. And I've literally found like an amazing group of friends, as well as an amazing myriad of people who have shown me creative ways to tackle interesting problems. Very interesting problems. So it has given me a different scope and a different specter on whereas when I first started, I thought streaming was going to be this very linear thing that if I try, I'll make like a measly like 200 followers by the end of the year or something. If I just do this and I act like this. And so I kind of evolved into, well, be yourself and incorporate as much as yourself into your streaming and into your channel as you wanna. And that's what I did with my redeems. I did my funny little dance redeems so chat can make me dance if they want to. I have funny commands that like incorporate members of chat. It went from bare bones not knowing to like accumulating knowledge of like how to do what I want to do. and now chat can change my outfits. And oh my god, let me tell you about my favorite redeems right now. My favorite redeems. So one of them's called Ocean Man, and it's literally, you know, the ending to the SpongeBob movie, the first SpongeBob movie, where it's like still pictures of SpongeBob. Chat can activate that, and it plays the Ocean Man song, and it like takes pictures of whatever I'm doing in VRChat.
Oh wow.
And so it gives me like 2-3 seconds to catch like a picture of like what I'm doing and make it present. It's so funny and so stupid.
That's very cool. That's so cool. I've never heard of anything like that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Right? And I thought of it like on the fly, and I was like, yo, that'd be so stupid. And now it's one of my favorites. and then I have like the few others on desktop where like they can put me in a cum jar, or they can replace me with 12 from Street Fighter, who's
nice.
like literally just a white.
It's a blob. Yeah. I know. I'm familiar. I know.
yeah. And it replaces my VTuber, and it plays Assumptions by Mike. What's his face? It's funny, and it's meant to be funny, and it like I think that like it's weird, it's quirked up as hell, but it's nice, and it's like a little sprinkle of me and my little redeems, because you aren't gonna see that anywhere else. You might find a cum jar, but where the fuck you gonna find a motherfucker turning into 12? Like, it's so stupid, and I love it, and I can do that.
I hope that I get a chance to see that sometime, because I've honestly have never heard of a redeem that has that kind of interactive like ability to like actually like snap like photos. Like it's just you can do it, activate it, and it just does a thing. I do know of like, you know, transforming your avatar and all that. I know those exist, but yeah, that to me that just sounds super complicated, because I've never like thought of that or like seen anything like that. Is that
it's my favorite redeem right now?
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
I mean, can it be done in 3D, or is it only for like your 2D streams?
No, it's actually done in VRChat. So basically, it's done when I'm live in VRChat, and somebody activates it, and it does like a key phrase of like, "This is the greatest day of my life," and then I hear that, and I literally only have a few seconds to hurry up and pose my ass before the ending credits of the SpongeBob movie plays, and I got like pictures of me doing stupid stuff, just like, and then it's over.
Interesting. Wow. Yeah, you really do lean into like the silliness aspect, and just like like empty mind, just all fun, like just the
fuck, it's the best. It's the best. Like the world is stupid sometimes. Like so why not put the funny ha-has into somewhere where you can just like let your brain go blank. Like that is the best. Like that is. I'm like sad so often, so like why not let my not so sad thoughts make funny ha-has, you know? Or so like it's great. It's great, and I like to take the suggestions of people, and if I can make them real, I will. But I really enjoy giving the funny ha-has and doing just, if we're laughing together, we're laughing together, and the world's not bad, and you know, and I don't know. That sounds cheesy, but the world's not bad, and we can just relax for a minute.
Yeah.
And we can just remember having a good time and focusing on having a good time, and let everything like responsibilities and not so bueno things, just leave them at the fucking door. Just come here, watch a funny cat dance, you know? Smile for a little bit. Tell me about your day, like, you know?
There's definitely
nice.
Yeah, there's definitely that aspect of it being like a real like authentic experience. Like you're trying to create like real, it seems like you're trying to create like real memories and real experiences for people. Like I mean that's what streaming is at the end of the day. You're trying to create an experience that people can engage with, that people can walk away from with like happiness and be sad that it's over type of thing. Like I love that. Like I love that you really do lean into that. But my question with regards to like the funny ha-has and stuff like that is, how do you know what people find funny? Because like everyone's sense of humor is different. So how do you discern like you're funny to what actually like vibes with people, you know? Like What's your secret?
I will say, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. So, like, if I find it funny, like, other people are gonna find it funny. Because my level of humor is stupid. And so, I think if I giggle at it, someone's gonna snort and laugh. So I'm like, okay, how can I make it so that way it's easy and accessible for them to giggle their little tookuses off? Or I'm like, okay, what is something that we can talk about that I found was funny that I know they're gonna find funny? Like, again, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot, and I wholeheartedly I welcome that fact, because that's fine. That's fine. I can be a little dummy and learn still. However, comma, if I find it funny, most likely someone out there is gonna find it funny too. And I have a pretty good sense of humor about, like, things and such. I am not super funny, but I know funny. So it's mostly like welcoming what I found and what I did and making it mine. Like, I literally can, like, go on, like, Twitter, go on Tumblr, and, like, I kid you not, the smallest thing can give me, like, inspiration. Like, I literally, the Ocean Man thing, that came to me because I was doing a different redeem. And it was, you know, there was a moment in SpongeBob where, like, Squilliam's like, who put you on the planet? Ugh. And I was like, okay, that's stupid. And then I ended up watching, someone, like, did a clip on it, and then it transitioned over to the ocean, like, to the song Ocean Man or something. And it was just like a meme, like a still image of a meme. And I was like, okay, hold on. So I go and watch that section again, and I see the ending credits, and I'm like, yo, hold the fuck on. What if? And I'm it's stuff like that. It's like, if I can find joy in it, if I can find that this thing makes me laugh, and this thing, like, it makes me excited, like, yeah, someone else is gonna like it. Someone else is gonna find it exciting. Like, I'm sorry. Tranquilo. But yeah. My thought process.
Which makes sense. I think if you're drawing on elements of society and, like, pop culture that people, you know, oftentimes are very familiar with, I think you're more likely to land on something that more people will find, the average person will find funny, because you find it funny, and then you put a twist on something that already exists in pop culture that many people are familiar with, such as SpongeBob. And I think people will instantly, like, relate to it. And I think it's definitely the key of finding that relatability, like finding that point of relatability that I think is very key for streamers. And you seem to have found very, very clearly with your community and just the vibe that you bring to your streams, and the energy that you have, just kind of explaining yourself. Like, the passion is abundantly clear. Your passion for the things that you find funny and for what you do for your community is extremely crystal clear. And the fact that you were able to crystallize that aspect, like, to me it seems like you were able to crystallize the image that you wanted to produce and portray on stream. You were able to figure that out very, very quickly, because you already had a very strong sense of self because of how you've grown up, the things that you've gone through. You know who you are as an individual, and you took bits of that and portions of that, catered that towards your stream, and then you just brought it to life on stream. So I think that's what if I had to guess, that would be, like, one of the reasons why I believe you've had such incredible growth. And also your consistency, your dedication, your creativity, obviously the things that you've been doing, the way that you've interacted with the people. Like, there are so many layers, but very clearly I think your spirit is very strongly felt. And as I said earlier, I'm a very good judge of character. So yeah, like, it's very, very clear that, you know, you're doing amazing things. You've done amazing things, and it makes sense. It all comes together. So how about you tell me why do you think that you've become as prominent as you have in such a short time, in, like, literally less than a year?
Boy, howdy. I don't know. I really don't. I wish I knew. A lot of it is by others' good graces, with their allowance, with their permission to make content and things that they like, and allowing me to present them with a space. Like, again, so many people feel lost and unable to just be silly. And also, a lot of people don't allow themselves to feel loved.
True.
And
True.
I with people that continuously come into chat, it gives me the ability to love them. Because again, I remember names. I remember people coming in. I remember, like, usually, like, the first time someone follows, I can usually, like, remember that. And yeah, while it's nice to have a thing, but what I mean is, like, they join and I can remember what we talked about. Like, it's like that extra layer, I think, of care, of I can be silly, but you're also allowing me to care about you, you know? And silliness aside, you know, I can be silly, but we can have our serious discussions, and we can love each other and care about each other. And you know, I wish I could have a concrete answer. I definitely don't know how I've grown to such degrees or why. Because again, in October alone, I gained like roughly 8, like with I was gonna say 8 with 1K all in that month.
Yes. Between
I don't know how.
Between October and November, like I can tell you for certain. In October and November, you were already over 1K. In October, November, you did another 1K.
It was insane.
Yeah.
It was insane, and I'm just like, how the fuck? And again, it's not like there are bigger streamers out there. There are my friends. There are people doing bigger, better, and I'm grateful for them. I am so glad and happy with what I have, what we've earned. And I will say we, because there's a lot behind it. There's not just me. And I didn't expect to be here. I didn't expect to do well. And
I don't think anyone does.
I'm happy
really.
that I have. No.
Yeah, I think
I was not ready for it.
Yeah, I think the people who expect to do well are the ones that fail. Honestly, I think it's
you're not wrong.
Yeah, I feel like you have
assumption.
You have to have that soberness. Like it's a general soberness of like, yeah, this could fail, this could end tomorrow. Like, and just kind of putting your best foot forward and trusting in not only yourself, but in the people who have chosen to believe in you in the first place. Even if you have just 20 followers, if like 1 or 2 of them come back to your stream, like those are the people at that moment who believe in you. And I think it's important for people to not go into streaming with the expectation that they're just gonna blow up, because that's just not how it goes. It's some people are very, very lucky. And some people just like, they like, for whatever reason, they find their way. But I also think that those people who do find their way don't have that expectation. They're not going in with the expectation that, oh, I'm gonna just blow up, I'm gonna be the biggest thing. And they have the humbleness and the self-awareness to know that streaming is a very transient type of thing, especially if you're doing it full-time. Whether you're doing it full-time or part-time, it's a very transient activity that, you know, like, we don't know what we're capable of. We don't know where that's going to take us. And a few of us, find success in it. And, you know, all we can really do is, like, you know, just be grateful. And, like, you're always grateful. I am always grateful. Like, I know like where I'm at currently, like, I still find it to be mind-blowing because I know I came out of nowhere. I came out of nowhere. I started doing VRChat streams, and I'm baffled and surprised at so I only stream I stream once a week. I'm like the worst streamer ever. I stream once a week, and I'm always surprised at how many people come back, how many people decide to follow, how many people just decide to stay and interact with me and have fun with me, and I couldn't be any more grateful. Just like you, it's just that soberness of it's not simply because of us; it's because of the people who believe in us, and our decisiveness as streamers to not give up and to always do our best to be creative and try to bring something new and exciting, to bring an experience to people. And like I said earlier, you seem to really have gotten your own methodology down. So speaking of that, can you walk us through how do you go about planning a stream? Can you walk us through that?
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at you.
Yeah, no,
I don't.
You don't?
I don't. I'm gonna keep it at grippy sock with you. The more I plan out, the more stressed I become, and the more upsetty spaghetti I am. I will say that the ones that with the streams without the plans are usually the ones that end up being the most fun, and vice versa. I don't know. I like to plan things for chat. But then I always try to leave in a lot more leeway for unpredictability and for movement, because then I have more fun. Then I can be a little bit more goofier and show them something that they might not have seen. I really like that. I think that too many people like to lean towards a set schedule and a set order of things. They don't allow themselves to just be like, okay, well, what the fuck is gonna happen today? Let me just come around for the ride. And again, I've been trying to get more so in the habit of be a little bit more
organized?
Not predictable, organized. For the sake of people watching, so they don't feel completely lost. But again, I do like that unpredictability about myself. I really like that about myself. Where I can be here 1 minute talking about something, and then I'm like, you know what? I feel like going to this world to play a rhythm game. Y'all are coming with me. Let's go. I think that's fun. It's definitely... Everyone's got well, not everyone. There are people who think, I have to show something entertaining. I have to be funny. I have to provide. I have to show off this side of me. I have to be this, and this. And then they forget, why did you start streaming? Are you having fun? Are you liking what you're doing? Because if you don't like it, they won't like it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the most organized parts of my stream, to go back to what you asked, the most organized parts of my stream are usually my sound alerts, are usually my OBS, are usually the titles of my name, which are always nonsensical and stupid. They're the most organized parts. And even with the sound alerts and even with the redeems, there's scuff. There's always scuff. Something's always breaking. My TTS breaks once or twice a stream, which I keep at one channel point so that way I can talk to people. But it's literally, it's an organized chaos. It's organized chaos. It's the best I can say. I don't want to toot a horn and make myself sound like this big old harbinger of I don't know what, but I will say that organized chaos. It's the best I can put it.
All right. Yeah.
How about yourself?
For me, it's a similar story. I do go on with like a semblance of a plan. I know if I'm probably going to be meeting up with somebody. I know if I'm probably going to be jumping into another world. I don't do much world hopping. I'm not really known for that, and I prefer to just kind of like, I feel like for me world hopping is a little too chaotic. I'm not really known as a very chaotic streamer. I like to keep all of my chaos. I like to keep my chaos controlled. To make a Sonic reference, but
Let's go.
yes, yeah, I'm a big Sonic fan actually. I was a big Sonic fan back in the day. I was.
We can talk. We can talk because I know games and comics. My love, we can talk.
Cool. Very nice. Like I admit I'm not too up to date on Sonic recently, but like the old stuff, like from the older consoles, I can definitely talk about that for sure. But yeah.
Ooh, she's so cool.
Oh. Oh my god. I'm just doing my best. I'm just doing my best.
Honey, honey, you are the best.
Oh my god.
Best.
No, you.
But please, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yes. But
chaos.
yeah. I my streams are very much controlled chaos. I like to create chaos within the interactions that I have with my chat. Like I said earlier, I prefer the one-on-ones. And so if I'm talking with my chat, I get to have one-on-ones with everyone in my chat. And we get to talk about things. I get to bring up like different topics, and I can make jokes based on what we're talking about. If I have someone in the world with me, I can make jokes of things that they're saying, and usually kind of like that gives me a little bit of extra fodder for humor because like they're there to like add like another voice to like everything else that's happening in chat. But I like to keep everything kind of very kind of encased in a certain method. Like I generally know what I'm going to be doing before I go live. However, I'm very much kind of like I can go with the flow. There have been times where I've been just kind of doing my thing, streaming, talking to my chat, and then I'll get like an invite to some event that someone is doing, and I'm like, all right, let's just go. Let's go see what they're up to. And we'll do that, and it'll be chaotic. My camera work is gonna be shit, even though like I do a fucking podcast, but I'm still shit with the camera. I'm a little bit better. I think I'm a little bit better now, but yeah, like it'll be a bit chaotic. Things will kind of maybe break. I don't know, but yeah, I generally have an idea of what I'm doing, and I rely very heavily on my personality because I don't have channel points. I don't have bit rewards. I don't have any of that because I'm not an affiliate. So a lot of what I do is really is just injecting my personality into every little thing that chat says, and just bringing something humorous if I can, something thoughtful, something provocative, something intelligent. Like I'd say I'm like you call yourself an idiot. You're not an idiot for like. The way that you're very articulate, so you're not an idiot. But I know that just like you have the soul of a child, and that childlikeness is what I think what you're talking about when you call yourself an idiot, because you're not an idiot. Like I'll just put that out there. But yeah, like
Thank you.
Yeah, so like I very much am. I think I'm a pretty smart person, so I like to talk about like things. Like I brought out like Big Pharma earlier, like hey chat, who wants to talk about Big Pharma? I like that.
Line the fuck up, boys. Yeah, we're talking about Big Pharma.
Yeah, I mean that's the kind of stuff that I bring up in my streams. Like I'll talk about like very very deep subjects that make people think. So I hope that is entertaining and that hopefully brings a certain brand of people. Obviously, I do a podcast, so hopefully people who are thoughtful and obviously will fit into my mold will come here, see the podcast, blah, 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 so on and so forth. But I'm largely reliant on my personality because I don't have any sort of like gimmicks that I can use. It's purely me in my planning. So,
if I may say, along those lines, what you do is so fucking hard because like you said, you're not affiliate. You don't have the gracious of like the cool fucking redeems to help keep people engrossed. It is all you. So it's literally all like the the things that you talk about, the people you bring on, how long you can capture people's attention and exactly that, give them thought-provoking material. That is hard as fuck. That is so fucking hard. And then we're already 3 hours in. You're going strong. I don't know how long you typically go for these, but to be talking, continuously bringing up material, going with the flow, like, it's hard enough as it is for myself, but to be pointedly focused on one person, avoiding the looks of the chat, giving, people things to think about that aren't pushing boundaries but are providing just enough, that is hard. And people who have like that practical superpower to do that, which you do have, you're amazing. Like, I can talk, I can try to maintain a conversation like for as long as I can, but like, again, to talk to different people and to continuously do this with other people, it's hard. It's so hard. You're doing very good work. It's so hard to do, and I hope no one ever sells short your skills, your talents. I hope no one ever sells this short, because this is really hard and you do it so well.
Oh, thank you so much.
Also, thank you for bringing me here.
I'm so happy to be here. By the way, yeah. But I really do. I'm so grateful. Thank you for that compliment. I genuinely appreciate that. It is difficult. It is difficult, and I usually go for about like 3-ish hours. But we're getting close. We're getting close. But there's still actually more things I want to talk to you about, believe it or not. So like I may have to push the envelope a little bit. I may have to. But yeah. So thank you. I really am just doing my best. I'm about as old as you when it comes to streaming. I believe I started like in May. So like I'm not too far behind. Like I just reached my first year of streaming. 1 day a week.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You have like a solid following after literally doing it like, honey, this is amazing.
I wouldn't say it's a solid following.
1 day a week.
1 day a week.
1 day a week. And you've already amassed like well over 500 people. I know people who have been doing this several days a week. A multitude of days a week, and then like barely getting like a few hundred. Like, my darling, again, no selling yourself short. This is hard work, and the fruits of your labor are being shown through that, and I hope they continue. I really hope they continue. I want nothing but the best for you, because you're a very nice woman. You're very nice. You have amazing conversational skills, and you provide things that not too many people offer. And I hope and I want nothing for the best of you. If it starts here as a podcast, let it continuously grow into something bigger and better. And like, I hope success continues to find you. You deserve it. You deserve it, my darling. You really do.
Well, thank you. Like I truly am just, doing my best out here, and I genuinely enjoy understanding people's psychology. I like analyzing people. I like figuring out why people do what they do and why they tick. I enjoy that a lot. So like, to be able to do this is a pleasure, and that people actually like it and want to be here is even more of a shock. Like I'm just like I'm always baffled by it. I'm forever fucking baffled by the fact that people actually enjoy these talks. And I know it largely has a lot to do with who I have on the podcast. I know that. I'm very aware of that. But I do hope that people genuinely like enjoy these deep dives into really kind of understanding people, because that's what I like to do. And that's what I try to do when I go live and talk to chat. I want to understand the people in my chat. And like, you make people feel loved. I try to make people feel as though like that they're not dumb, and that they're actually worthwhile, and
they're
that
not alone.
Yeah, what they have to say is good and worthwhile, and that we can talk about it. And I do my best to bring that to them. So it's a different approach, but it still aligns with the whole idea of creating experience like you do. And I'm just doing my best, and I genuinely appreciate like your support, and I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. It's like. For you to have my back means a lot to me, and our conversation has been fantastic, but we're not done. I'm sorry. It sounds like we're ending. It sounds like we're ending,
No
but
worries.
we're not done. So, I want to know about your love life. Because
Okay.
we gotta talk. We have to talk about that. This is the thing we talk about with every guest. So, what are your what do you look for in terms of a romantic partner? Like what are your values when it comes to romance?
Romance. Okay. So first off, I'm pansexual. I very heartily believe that a person's personality can win me over vanity. And that being said, I do like a person who's attractive. But if your personality can win me through, you can look like a plank of wood with a bunch of nails driven through it. If you make me laugh, that is like requirement one. If you make me laugh, and you can just make me laugh stupid, you're already winning me over. You're already like 60% there.
So I'm already in there, right?
Oh, honey.
Like I've already
Girly. Phone number. After today, phone number. Let me find out.
Yeah. Alright, go on. Hey, I had to do it. I had to do it, you know?
Shoot your shot,
Shoot your
my
shot.
queen. But funny people. I love to laugh. I love to make people laugh. So if we can laugh together and it's easy and it's effortless, like, you're already winning me over. I like people. My love languages are quality time. And I forget the one where, like, they listen. I forget the exact term, where they remember things about you. One thing that I pride myself on is that I'm pretty attentive to when people speak about things that they're interested in, their likes, their dislikes, because then I can start knowing, all right, if I were to go here, let me keep this in mind because they are very fond of this. Like, one of my best friends, her thing is tiramisu. So if I find a restaurant or a place with interesting looking tiramisu, I always think of her, send her a picture, or I bring her some cake. Always. Always, always, always. You know, it takes no time, it shows that I'm thinking of her, and that's what I like to have done for me. I very much love it when people pay attention to, like, my interests or, like, something offhand that I've mentioned. Like, if you see me looking at, like, a game for a little bit longer and I'm just like, maybe, or whatever, that, I feel like that shows me ultimately you care, and that usually wins me over. I've had someone, I love referencing this because I cried, actually. I had a game, No Straight Roads, that I slowly amassed love for because it was so original, it was so amazing, it's such a good game. And I was scouring for the collector's edition of the game. Scouring. Everywhere it was sold out. I might have had to, like, order it off of a scalper's website for, like, triple or quadruple the price of it. You know? And this one person, they're no longer in my lives, not for, like, death reasons, but they're just, we're not friends anymore. But at the time, we were really close friends. And I don't know how they knew, but they surprised me on Christmas with that gift. And I was sobbing. I was crying. To feel heard without speaking loudly. My love, that, oh my god, that was, and once I had that, I knew that was important to me. Once I experienced not needing to yell, not needing to blatantly put on like a piece of paper what I want, what I need, that like the right person would adhere to that and they would make me feel valued in that way. That became an important attribute for me to look for. So I knew that like whoever I plan on being with, our communication is going to be extremely important. Like being able to laugh with one another, being able to hear each other's dislikes and interests and take part in them. And again, like the physical is only down to the physical for so much. I will say I would very much prefer being sexually attracted and physically attracted to somebody. I would very much prefer that. But those things can definitely make me see someone in a new light. Like man, I think it's very important for people to learn their love languages while they find themselves, because again, once I discovered that, my love, I started holding people to higher standards. Much higher standards.
And it's important to have standards. It's important to like know what it is about yourself that really like, you know, makes your heart go doki doki. I think that's all important stuff. It's important to have that sense of who you are and what you want, because if you don't know what you want, then you'll take anything and you will settle for anything. And no one should do that. No one should settle. Everyone should absolutely discover who they are and what they need in a partner, even if it means making a couple of mistakes, which honestly, I think it's pretty common for people to make mistakes when it comes to that sort of thing. You know, very, very few people are lucky enough to get it right the first time. So like, I think it's extremely important for people to like, you know, look inside themselves, explore their own interests, find things that make them happy, and, you know, I think at the very least, learn how to love themselves. Because I believe when people learn how to love themselves, they will learn how to love others, and they will know what it means for others to love them. But they have to be able to love themselves first to even have any semblance of what it means to be loved. Because I think people should love themselves and want to be loved in the same regard that they love themselves. Like, I always say this one thing, like, you know, love yourself to the point that you want to fuck yourself. Like that's my thing.
Hell yeah.
That's my thing. So
hell yeah. That's
I
why I
believe
take nudes of myself very often.
Hey, yeah. See, like I like that. Like it's. I think you should be in a state where you absolutely like you know what you find attractive and you know your worth. And knowing your worth is so important in this day and age. And like so many people don't know their worth. And that's a loss. And it causes people to end up in relationship after relationship after relationship, and they don't even have any semblance as to what that means to like love themselves. And they're trying to find it in someone else. And that's another mistake people make. They try to find love. Instead of loving themselves, they try to find another people. And they expect that other person to fill that gap that they should be doing themselves. And that, I think, is a massive loss, and I think it causes a lot of people unnecessary pain. Because I think, yeah, it's so important for people to love themselves, but I think that's often missed. But I like your standards. I align with your standards. A lot of what you said, you know, jives with me, for sure. And, like, so, what has been your longest relationship, if you don't mind me asking?
Roughly about like 2.5 years. I take more of an easygoing stance towards relationships, and that one was a little bit more, they wanted a little bit more of like the serious side of like things. And while I appreciated, you know, their interest in me and what they saw, it just, you know, it wasn't there. So, again, like, 2 years, 2.5 years, that's a long time to be with someone. I just want... I feel like some people go into relationships with like okay, if I go into another one, I have to make sure that it lasts longer than the last one, otherwise it's not real and it's not genuine. I feel that with guidelines, with respect, and with proper contemplation in place, date who you want, as long as you're ready to date, as long as like you got as many of your ducks in a row as you can. Like, if you don't have a car, that's fine, you know? Just be prepared to offer up gas to your partner who does.
Yeah.
If, you know, you're in the works of buying a house, you know, maybe don't go with the person you've been dating for less than a year.
Yeah. Yeah, don't put them in the mortgage. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's those fundamentals, you know, as long as I keep like myself a bit guarded but open and ready, it's good, you know. And I feel like, yeah, well, it was only 2.5 years, and I will say only 2.5 because I have pretty high standards when it comes. My sister actually just got married in October, and they're on their honeymoon to Japan. And they have been together for roughly over 8 years. I believe it's 10 now.
Wow.
And again, they're roughly
Impressive.
8-10 years. And they just got married.
It's sad to say that 10 years
married.
is impressive, but it's actually very impressive in this day and age.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I am one of their strongest supporters. Like, my sister's been texting me every day, showing me stuff from her honeymoon. And I'm just like, you guys, I love you, and I'm so glad, and please continue to enjoy yourself. Make sure your days that are there are filled, and take and buy as many souvenirs and fill a scrapbook. I know that if I were to find that, she would have that same enthusiasm for me. So that's what I'm getting at, you know. I have goals in line with like what I'm looking for and what I'm hoping for.
So,
and
okay.
You know, no, that's it.
Okay. All right. So, you said that the person that you're with for 2.5 years was looking for something a little bit more serious. So, I'd like to know if you can explain that in more detail, and how does that align with what your standards are in terms of like what you're looking for? Because like you said, you have high standards. So, I guess what was different about that particular relationship of what they offered you, and how was that different from what you would have wanted? If you can put that into perspective.
It's not necessarily that my standards are high, like to a point of inaccessibility. It's that I know my worth, and I know that like I don't want anyone thinking that because how I am and because of what my standards are, that I'll just be accepting any and every applicant, you know. And the relationship, it didn't work because they were a Christian man, and I am not a Christian woman. not an innocent. I've been baptized like I think twice or thrice now. It's not my thing.
I've been baptized once myself as a child, very very young. Yeah. You know, we I think we both have very 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 Christian streams.
Oh yeah, come to my very Christian 18
plus
NSFW meetup.
Yeah. There will be much baptism.
There'll be a lot of people calling to God. There'll be a lot of people. But it's literally it was for those views. He wanted a wife to come home to, a wife very much centered in the church, and that is not something I could have provided for them. And he wanted me to see that. He tried so hard with taking me to Christian theme parks and asking me to come to church, and in our discussions he would say things like, oh, what if we had a kid, you know, whatever, are we going to church? I'm like, I'm not going to church, and if my kid don't want to go to church, I'm not forcing them to go to church. And it was unfortunately one of the reasons why we broke up, one of the main reasons. And, you know, it is what it is. I got my experience firsthand with dating and being with someone like that. So it was a time well spent and well learned. You know, I learned that that kind of life isn't for me. And if I ever were to meet someone along the lines, if that was the kind of thing that they're centered in, I know immediately it's not going to work.
Right.
I tried it. Mm-hmm. We made it. We had amazing chemistry. Amazing chemistry.
How ironic is that, though?
And it was some of... Right, it's crazy. It was literally his family. He was very centered in his family, and his family's like, that's not a Christian girl, we don't want you to date her. He's like, well, oh wait. So, you know, it is what it is. I don't feel any kind of shame. I don't feel any kind of embarrassed, because again, like, I feel no animosity towards him. He's doing the best, what he thought was best for him and what his family's expectations for him, and that's where he sees his happiness, and that is fine. You know? I myself just do not find my happiness going that immediate direction. He was ready to settle down. I'm still living life. I still want to travel. I still want to experience. I want to go back to school. I want to go back to school. I want to get my linguistics degree. I want to travel. I want to see. I want to learn. And, you know, the life of a wife isn't necessarily what I'm looking for. I do not want to be popping out kids right now. I'm all about breeding without children, you know, respectfully.
Yes. That is fair, and respectable.
My God, but you know, so I just know that the next thing that I happen to get into, it's more introspection, more readiness, more preparedness, more like, please understand what you're getting to when it comes to me, and know what you want when it comes to you. Because I'm not in the market for raising grown people, you know. I don't want to shape someone to be who they're meant to be and to be the perfect partner for me. We're supposed to grow into that together. So
they're supposed to already know who they are and bring that to the table, so that both of you can you know, fill in the gaps where you guys fall short. But you're a complete. You and your partner will be a complete individual, and you both kind of like fill in the gaps of one another. You pick up the you fill in the gaps where the other person is like weak in, and vice versa. But you both have your shit together, essentially. You're not looking to, like, you know, fix anybody.
You are so right. You are so right.
And that's fair. I think that's absolutely reasonable. Like, I think there are people who like to fix people. I have fallen into that occasionally, which sucks. I because of, like, you know, sure, I'm a very very understanding, caring person, but I'm guilty of taking people on because I want to fix them, and not because I actively want to fix them, but because I see something in them that I believe that with time and effort can be remedied. So it's not that I want to fix them. I just believe that, like, maybe I can fill in the gap that they're actually missing, but the gap is much larger than it should be. And I'm trying to do a lot more than I should be doing, which means that they can do less for me. So I do more for them, but they do less for me. They're not adding anything to my life, kind of thing. And I've been in that situation multiple times. So that is a lesson I've learned repeatedly, and so I get it. I totally get it. I blame my caring heart and my massive ego and my interest in psychology. So it's a whole.
You're so right.
It's a whole lot of things.
That is crazy how on the money with that you are. Oh my God.
I've thought about this a lot. Yeah.
That was literally like two of my relationships, and like they were kind of like almost back to back. I think there was like a year, not even, there was like a few months in between with two different people who I thought, okay, I can change them, I can fix them. I think this is pretty cool. They're pretty elite, whatever. And then going and like figuring out that they don't even know what they want to do. They're looking at me for guidance because I have myself a little bit more, confident in what I wanted to do. And boy howdy, were those relationships rocky.
Yep, they always are. They always are. So, yeah. I'm glad that you know what I'm talking about. It's not a pleasant experience, and not one that I plan on going through anytime soon. Hopefully. But do you plan on having, like, do you want to have kids at any point? Is that something that you see yourself doing?
Had to sit up for this one. So.
Yeah. All right. It's pretty serious. Pretty heavy. Yeah, I know.
I currently have birth control in. I am not in a place to be having kids. I am not mentally prepared in the ways because I am still very selfish towards myself. I am still... Honestly, yeah. I cannot...
You should
I
be.
Could barely, I could have a pet.
Yeah.
A child, no. No, I know for right now that if I were to have a child, I would be so filled with, why? Why did I do this to myself the minute, I have it? I can't, if others want to have kids, I'll watch them. I have nieces. I love having my nieces and nephews. I love them. I see what my sister goes with on the daily. Both of my sisters go, two of my sisters go with on the daily because they have a ton of kids. And my God, I don't want that for myself. I know that once I get to a financial and a mental state of readiness, I think maybe one. Because again, I'm learning what children can do to a body. And again, I have a nice figure. I have a nice figure, and nice. I do not want children to ruin it. I don't want kids to ruin it. I'm trying so hard to hold and maintain it as long as I can. And oh my God. Oh, let it happen in my 30s and my 35s. Let it happen somewhere around there. Mm. Let me have a kid and then adopt the rest. Because there are so many kids out there in the world that need somebody, and if I'm in a place to provide for them, I will do so. I would rather do it like that. I'd rather have one or two. Cool. I have my little babies. I named them what I've always wanted to name my little babies. Whatever. And now I'm going to adopt kids who need that, who actually need someone there. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. Kids are yucky. Don't touch my Dreamcast just because you're bored and you want to touch things with your unwashed hands. Yeah. Stupid.
Kids are definitely can be quite gross at times. Yeah. I totally feel be selfish, enjoy life, do the things that you want to do that fulfill you, that make you happy, the things that you've wanted to experience, because once you have a child, you lose that. You lose a good portion of that until they grow up and go off and do their own thing. But by that time, you've already passed 20 years. 20 years are already gone. So it's good that you've thought about this, you've thought it through, you already know exactly where you want to go, have an idea of what standards you want to meet, what milestones you want to achieve before you take that step. And again, see, you're not an idiot. Because at least you've thought about this stuff. At least you've actually given it some manner of thought. A lot of people don't even consider the possibility. They're too busy living life to even imagine what something else could be. And then when the unexpected happens, they don't know what to do because they haven't thought about anything outside of their current self, their current reality. But you've actually considered possibilities, hypothesized about things. And I think that's important to do. It's important to be thinking, to be perceiving the world as something that can change, and you as an ever-changing being, as someone who will change and will ultimately have different values or choose to do different things based on where you're at in your life, because no one knows. Like, you don't know where you're going to be when you're 30. You don't know where you're going to be when you're 35. But I think it's important to at least think about these things and to at least have something in mind so that you can set your boundaries and make sure that you're protecting who you are so that you can enjoy life to the fullest. At least that's my philosophy.
You are so right. No, you are so right.
Oh, I'm glad you agree.
I hope people take away with that.
Yeah.
Honey. Of course.
Yeah. So I've got just a little bit more. But we're just about done. This is
You've got my time.
Yeah, this is the grand finale essentially. I want to know.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, get ready. So I want to know a little bit about just like your goals, your ambitions in real life. I would like to know like how has streaming affected you? Well, okay, we'll start here. How has streaming affected your real life? How has it affected you in real life? How has it changed the way you used to live? Like, do you have a job? Did you have a job before you started streaming? Did you quit your job? Like, was it like what was that like? And if we can keep it relatively brief, that'd be good. But yeah, I would like to know.
I can do that for you real lickety split, my guy. Okay.
Thank you.
So, no worries. So when I started streaming, I had a job. No, I didn't have a job. I literally had a job last February, lost it. I started streaming in June. I burned through my savings. I was like, okay, everyone's convincing me. I'm going to give this a try. It won't hurt. It won't hurt anything. And then, as you said, it kind of boom, took off. It exploded. And so once it did, I was like, okay, maybe I can take this a little bit more seriously. And this can be a job. And so it has been exactly that. It has turned into a career.
When did you start taking it as a job? Like, at what point did you realize that? Did you start treating it as a job? If you don't mind me asking.
Once the payouts, were like enough to cover like some bills, I was like, okay, now I can start putting some stuff in savings. I don't have a job. Luckily, I have a place to stay and I can start putting in savings. But, this is like, it can turn into something where I can just do it. And it's been that. And, oh my gosh, the only goals I want are to potentially make partner. I want to open up a partner group. I want to do a partner group for my friends. I want to do something so that way they can, if they want to find success, they can find it. But I want to create a group to put my friends in. And so like if I'm not watching, maybe my viewers can go support a friend or two, Like, I want to create a little place for me and my friends. And if I can do that, that'd be great. If I could pave the way to that, that would be great. I don't expect it to happen anytime soon. I don't have the audacity within myself to ever expect it to happen. But I'll try. I want to try. And I want to keep doing this. I want to keep making content. I want to keep having fun. I want to continuously give people who watch me a smile and something to look forward to. Because, like, again, I stream once people's work days are done. I start streaming then. So when people are coming home and relaxing, they can come catch me and just check up and say like, hey, yo, what's going on? Or come offer up a laugh or make me dance for a little bit because it's funny, and that's fine. I don't mind. I have the energy to spare, but stuff like that. I want to keep doing this. I like it. I like it. I like it.
Nice.
How about you?
Honestly, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I still work 40 hours a week, which is why I only stream once a week, because like I work 40 hours a week. I do the stream, I do the podcast, I produce the podcast, I produce shorts, I do all of my own updates with the stream and try to make it better. I do all my own marketing, I do all my own tweets, I run, both Twitter accounts, and I still need time for myself and, to hang out with my friends and just time. Like, I desperately need time for myself. So my goal ultimately is to just keep growing. I would like to, my job has not been very kind to me. Christian, it's been very kind to me. However, I would like to not have to work there anymore. I'm kind of done.
I feel you.
Kind of done. So yeah, I would love to just be in a position where I can just kind of live and provide more streams and provide more content, create more experiences, do more community type stuff. Even though I suck at community, I'm garbage at community related stuff. I'd like to try to do more with that, but at the very least, to stream more. I'd want to just be able to stream more. But yeah, I'd like to be a successful streamer. I enjoy this process. I enjoy the creativity of it. I enjoy the flexibility. It allows me to dig into so many aspects of my creativity, because a lot of people don't know just how deep my creativity goes. I have a lot of self-taught skills, and I'm still learning so much more. So a lot of what I do in streaming allows me to kind of enjoy all of those aspects of who I am and what I've gained over the many years that I've been here. And yeah, I would love to just be able to stream and entertain more freely. That's honestly my goal at this point. I'm not trying to become affiliate, because I could already be affiliate. It's a voluntary choice that I'm making to be independent, and to, if I'm going to succeed, it's going to be with the support of the people who I'm creating content for and the people who believe in me. And believe in the content that I'm doing. So if I'm ever going to find success, it's going to be because of my supporters, because they want to see me succeed and they want to see me grow. And I'm hoping that, little by little, maybe we'll be able to build something together, and I'll be able to do more streams and get out of VR, because I'm stuck in VR. I can only do VR content right now. So I want to get out of VR and do more stuff. I already have plans for that once I can achieve that. And I just all I need is more time. If I had more time, there would be so much more that I can do. But I'm incredibly limited, and my energy is incredibly limited. So I have to really take care of myself so that I don't burn myself out, because I don't just want to do VRChat content now and forever. I love doing it, but I know that if I could stream more, one day will be for VRChat, another day will be for some game, in a 2D model or something. So yeah, I'm
hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm grateful that I've found such success in such a short period of time, with such I tell everyone, don't be like me. Don't be like me. Don't stream one time a week. It's dumb. Don't do that. It's stupid. But I do it anyway, because it's all I can do. And for some reason, people seem to like it. So I'm extremely grateful.
Hell yeah.
But
You
yeah,
have your own draw to you that people can't get enough of, I'm sure. I'm definitely liking you a lot. I think you're great.
yeah, I would love to. I obviously would love to hang out. That'd be pretty cool. To chill out,
yeah.
chill out on stream, off stream, whatever. I'm very hard to get a hold of, but I'm very easy to get a hold of. You can get a hold of me pretty easily. But yeah, you're not gonna usually find me at social events. I will show up occasionally, but if you'd ever want to hang out, if you'd ever want to chill, just let me know. I'd totally be down. to hang out, get to know you more.
Yes, we know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, with regards to like everything, like you said, you wanted to go back to school. And you want to go back to school for your linguistics degree. And do you have any plans for doing that, or how you want to do that?
I'm planning on tackling that again, probably later this year. It's filling out some paperwork and seeing if I can apply for some grants. It's something I want to do. I know that I learn languages good through like word of mouth and application, but I learn best in a classroom setting.
Why linguistics?
I really want to go. There's something about being able to communicate with other people. Like, if the only border of our understanding of people is language and like lack of understanding of culture, then why not just learn? If I can learn more about people, and communication on like anywhere will never be a problem. It will never be a problem. And again, I want that degree to become a translator. I want to be a translator for ambassadors, for business executives, for people, for lawyers, for people who don't know. I want to use my linguistics degree and just travel, provide understanding, learn more as I travel and understand. And oh my god, I realized that after my initial plans of like going to like the military didn't pan out, and I started making friends from other countries, not on here, but just because they went to school near me, and I'm like, okay, this is fucking interesting, like all walks and manners of life, and I could understand it if I just give them the chance and give myself the opportunity. So it's a large goal. I'm gonna say it's a large goal of mine. I will make it happen. I want to. I want to. So I'm going to invest that time and that energy into myself. It's all about proper timing. Because I can't just go to school at any time, whenever. I need to make sure that I'm set up properly to do so. And I will allow myself and give myself the space to do so.
100%. I love the mind of someone who is aware of the limitations and understands what is needed, and will take the steps necessary to move forward in that. No matter how long it takes, you say it's going to happen. I will do it. And it's that will. It's not just willpower, but it's the foresight to understand what is necessary to do that, and taking the steps to make that happen. There's a difference between wanting something and understanding what it takes to actually make that want a reality. And you're already there. You're doing it, and it's so nice to see. It's so nice to like really kind of understand, like, you think about things a lot. You really think things through.
A little bit.
Like a good deal, actually. Yeah. So like I mean, you keep complimenting me on like what I'm doing. Like you are a very thoughtful, very intelligent lady, and I'm happy that I've been able to talk and get to know you, because you're very smart. You're very smart. You're very witty.
Don't tell me that.
You're smart.
Don't tell me. I'll believe you. Don't tell me that. Stop. I'll believe you. You're okay. If not smart, then sensible. How about that? Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah. I only give compliments where they're due. I only say what I mean. And I hope people who know me understand, like, I only say what I mean. So, yeah. Absolutely.
Thank you, my love. Thank you.
Absolutely.
As long as you understand, right back at you. Because God, you are giving such a riveting conversation. Like, I'm so serious. Like, honestly, thank you for allowing me to talk about myself.
Yeah.
And thank you for like letting me ask about you. Because I wanted to find out about you as much as you wanted to find out about me.
Is that so?
Mm-hmm. I watched some of your streams, and again, I noticed a lot more was centered towards your guests. And again, it is the point of the podcast to talk about your guests, but where's the harm in finding out a little bit about the host who's asking these questions? Where's the harm in finding out the reasoning and the person behind these questions? Like, I'm getting like the questions that you ask are showing not only your interests, but thoughts that you thought would be good for content. And that you've no doubt wondered about yourself, or you've thought of for yourself. You've provided answers relatively quickly, and they were pretty introspective. So, like, again, you've either thought about this, or being put on the spot provided you a place to project your own feelings. Like, it's cool. It's cool. I'm saying a whole bunch of nonsense. I like you. I think you're cool. Everything about this has been as nerve-wracking as it was initially. This is cool. This is fun. If you're not subscribed to her or follow her, you should do so. Shameless plug, shameless plug, shameless plug.
Oh, you're too sweet. You're too sweet. Like you've been nothing but like awesome, charming. Like I obviously I've watched your streams. I've seen you in action, and like you are very, very charming. You have a certain energy about you that people genuinely will feel. It's genuine. Like who you are is so incredibly genuine, and how you speak, and the words that you say, and the way that you show that you care, and just how you interact with people. Like there's a lot going on in your streams, and somehow you manage to make people feel as though they're still a part of the experience, and you create that experience. And just being able to sit down with you and really kind of dig into like what like how you think, how you perceive the world, the things that you like and don't like, the expectations, your motivations. All those things are super, super interesting, and I had a feeling that you'd be very, very charming. I had a feeling that like I would be happy to get to know you, and that was right. So I do genuinely hope. Yeah, of course. Like, I do genuinely hope that we have a chance to like hang out, to chill, maybe even like create some manner of content together. I don't fucking know. But I do hope that at the very least, this won't be the last time that we talk. I hope that with all of my guests. I hope that with all my guests that this won't be the last time.
I won't let it be. So. I won't let it be. Nor. I won't let it be. Nope.
Well, I sincerely appreciate your time, BB. It's been such a pleasure and an honor, really, as like someone who also streams, to get to know you, someone who's just remained humble and caring, despite all that you've gone through. Despite you did a subathon, which we didn't really get to talk about in full detail, but we had a chance to kind of like we did kind of like dabble in that. But you most definitely kind of shared that was a rough experience for you with all that you had going on in real life, and that you still somehow managed to make it work with the help of your mods and the support of your community, which was massive. It was massive, massive growth. You're also a massive Kingdom Hearts fan. Massive Kingdom Hearts fan. I saw your stream. I saw your stream. That's how I know.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yes, I am.
I tend to, when people ask me how I know things, I just tell them I know most things. I'm there when they least expect it to absorb and listen and understand. So I don't have much experience in Kingdom Hearts, but I just kind of want to throw that out there as like a kind of like a cherry on top of everything, that like I've genuinely been paying attention to you, BB. And I think what you're doing is really, really awesome. Like you're a really fantastic content creator, and I have a lot of respect for you. So thank you so much for being on my podcast. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my god, I've been nothing but happy since I got here. Thank you.
see, it wasn't so bad.
Mm.
It wasn't so bad, was it? Not so scary.
Nor.
So how about you tell everyone where they
You
can find you?
mentioned-
Oh wait, go ahead.
You had mentioned wanting to head. Hold on, let me see. Hold on. I'm gonna do a big ol' switcheroo. How do you do? Hold on, because it's this model that it's a little borkin on. However, comma. This one, I believe it works well on. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Hopefully I didn't kill you.
No, I'm
Okay.
good.
Now, try and do head pats.
Okay.
See if it works. Good.
The ears move.
No? What? No.
No.
It's supposed to be I purr and my nose poops. Oh, how upsetting. It might be. Hold on, I'm gonna try one more time.
Okay.
I know this one works. Now try.
Okay. There it is. Yeah. That's the purring. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah. I love giving the head pats. It's so nice. I enjoy it. It's one of my little things that I love doing to, like, you know, people who allow me to head pat them. And if they purr, oh my gosh. So nice. I love that. I do love the purring. So, how about you tell everyone where they can find you, Bibi?
At my mom's house on the couch, eating snacks, Takis, and Funyuns. However, comma, if you want to watch me on... No, jokes aside, you can find me on Twitch. You can find me on Twitch. I have Twitter and TikTok, all at the name of BeautyBanger or Best Booty Banger. Pew pew pew.
So which one would be for which?
So Beauty Banger on Twitch. It is literally beauty and banger, all one word. TikTok as well as Twitter. It is Best Booty Banger, all lowercase, all one word. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. And for people who'd wanna, did you want to say something?
I was gonna say everyone who's watching better be following you to some degree.
Thank you. I certainly hope.
Honestly.
I hope that people enjoyed, you know, the podcast, enjoyed the episode, and you know, if they haven't followed or subscribed, you know, this is a great opportunity to do so.
Do it.
Yeah. but yes, if you're interested in, you know, getting to know me and seeing my content live. You can find me on Twitch at Nephertii with 2 eyes, and also on Twitter with 2 eyes. And I'm also pretty sure that by the time this is out, my Patreon will be launched. So I will probably just edit something in related to that down below, or maybe at the end of the video. But yeah, please do check out my Patreon if you enjoyed the podcast, if you enjoy my content. If you just enjoy what I'm doing as a streamer, my Patreon is the best way for you to support me and to, you know, help make my dreams a reality. Because I do all this for free. I do it out of the love for it, to really kind of, you know, get to know people and provide a bigger picture of some really wonderful individuals and content creators who I have had the pleasure of getting to know and who are more than willing to join me on my podcast. So yeah, that will be there hopefully down below. If you're interested in supporting me there, obviously there are rewards and such that you can look into and decide for yourself if that's something that you'd want to do. But in the meantime, I want to say thank you once again to Bibi for being here with me tonight. It's been such a pleasure, and I am genuinely looking forward to the next time we have a chance to hang out, Bibi. I hope it'll be sometime soon. And yeah, thank you again. Thank you.
Thank you. This has been wonderful. Thank you. Honestly.
Yeah. Awesome. So, For those of you who are tuning in, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, I certainly hope that you will take care of yourselves, love each other, love yourself first and foremost. And of course, I hope you'll stay tuned for the next episode of the Sweet Talking Podcast. I've been your host, Nephertii, joined by BeautyBanger, and we bid you guys adieu. So take care. I'll see you all next time.